Dragon Ball Daily Gift Pack Chapter 321 to 340. 321. Push Down Time. Master Chief, just now, we heard the sound of a giant ape roaring here, and there seemed to be a very dazzling light. Is there any monster mixed in here? The voices of the left and right guardians came from outside. After hearing the words of the left and right guardians, the angel leader also shook his head. Left and right guardians, before, it was just me and Yichu that performed a technique, and nothing abnormal happened. You should leave here first. The angel leader opened his mouth and said to the left and right guardians outside the door. After the left and right guardians heard the words of the angel leader, although there were still some doubts in their hearts, they nodded and left here. At this time, Yichu also looked closely at the angel leader, because the angel leader had said a very important message before, but 560 also interrupted the angel leader because of the arrival of the guardian Zuo. Can the chief angel continue to speak? Yichu opened his mouth, and the angel leader also began to talk. Yichu, I do know about this, and I discovered it myself. Now I can take you there to see how I discovered it. Yichu was also a little surprised after hearing the angel leader say this, but Yichu nodded tightly. Come with me, Yichu, and I'll show you how I found out about this matter. Although you may not know very little about it, when you see this scene, you must be sure in your heart. It will also be a little surprising. Quote. The angel leader opened his mouth, and after hearing the angel leader say this, Yichu also followed closely by the angel leader's side, and the angel leader led Yichu to the corner of the room. When the angel leader walked to the corner of the room, his foot stepped on the brick next to him 3 times, and then the whole room began to vibrate slightly. Those tiles also slowly disappeared, and then a dark hole appeared in the corner of the wall. This hole seemed to lead to the bottom of the palace, and I didn't know where it was after going down. Yichu, come with me. The angel leader opened his mouth. After the angel leader said this, Yichu felt a little hesitant in his heart, because this hole did not seem to have been set up by the angel leader himself. It should have been set up by the master who built the palace a long time ago. I don't know. What is there after going down? However, what the angel leader had said before was also very tempting, and Yichu felt in his heart that the angel leader shouldn't plot against him again. Besides, even if the angel leader really wanted to plot, Yichu wasn't very afraid. Yichu thought for a while, and after a while, Yichu stepped towards the entrance of the hole. When he was about to see Yichu's action, the angel leader also appreciated Yichu even more in his heart. Immediately after, the angel leader and Yichu walked into the secret room. After a period of darkness, the angel leader and Yichu entered a secret room below the palace. There were several dark lights in the secret room. These lights came from the candles on the side wall. This place looks a little dark, but there is a very magical and huge energy around it. Although this place was a little dark, when Yichu stood in this place, his body and mind felt a little more comfortable. Yichu felt the energy pervading all around him. He felt that the energy pervading all around seemed to be somewhat similar to the energy in space, but there were some differences in essence. This energy seemed to carry Yichu from the present time period to another time, to the future. Yichu, this secret room is filled with strong time energy. At this time, the angel leader also found Yichu's surprise, and then he looked around and said to Yichu. Yichu's heart began to surge after hearing the angel leader say this. This place is filled with the energy of time. Yichu opened his mouth in surprise. They didn't expect that the surrounding area was filled with time energy. They had to know that what he understood was only the power of space. As long as something was related to time, it would definitely be very precious and rare. However, Yichu's heart was a little surprised. How did the angel leader learn about those things from this place? Angel Chief, didn't you say you wanted to let me know how you learned the truth of those things from this place? Please tell me now. Yichu opened his mouth, because the angel leader brought him to this place. Yichu looked around and felt the strong power of time around him, so Yichu became even more curious about what the angel leader said in his heart. After hearing Yichu say this, the angel leader also nodded and walked forward. Yi Chu, do you still remember what race we are? We are an angel family. What is the best thing our angel family is good at? The angel leader opened his mouth and asked Yi Chu. Hearing the angel leader asking this, Yi Chu remained silent for a while, and then he thought of the great priest. I heard that what the great priest is best at is the power of time. Is it possible that the chief angel is also good at this? Is it the power of time? Yi Chu raised his head and asked the angel leader. Hearing Yi Chu's question, the angel leader was also a little surprised. He didn't expect Yi Chu to guess it in such a short time. The angel leader nodded. Admit it. Yi Chu, what you said is not wrong. In our angel family, as long as the power of blood is relatively strong, they are generally more proficient in the power of time. But because of this, we can't easily shuttle 5.7, time, which will have this major impact on time. When the angel leader spoke, he also had some regrets in his heart. It is also because although they have a talent for time, they cannot travel through time even if they have a strong power of time, so there are many angels who have given up this talent to cultivate themselves, but the leader of the angels is different. Time magic is very proficient. Hearing the angel leader say this, Yi Chu was also a little surprised. He didn't know why the angel leader said this. Angel Chief, does what you want to tell me have anything to do with your power of time? Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing Yi Chu's question, the angel leader nodded. 322. The source of the feather planet. After seeing the angel leader nod, Yi Chu was also surprised in his heart. He stared at the angel leader tightly, wondering how the angel leader would show him those scenes. Yi Chu, just watch it carefully. The angel leader opened his mouth, and his face became a little deeper, and then the angel leader stood in the center of the secret room. There was a strong power of time flowing through him, and the power of time in this secret room was also directed towards the angel. The leader's body rushed inside. The angel family is very good at the power of time. Although he cannot travel through time, he can also use the power of time to achieve some other things. When he saw the angel leader like this, Yi Chu felt a little bit in his heart. Guessing, but Yi Chu didn't know exactly what the angel leader was going to do. The angel leader waved his hands. When the angel leader waved his hands, there was a strong power of time flowing in the angel leader's hands. It seems that a flat picture is constructed in front of the picture, and some scenes appear in this picture, and these scenes are constantly going backwards 18, as if some scenes from the angel universe once appeared. Yi Chu closely watched the scenes constructed by the angel leader, and was a little surprised, because he had now discovered that these scenes constructed by the angel leader seemed to be the previous scenes in the angel universe, and these scenes at this time those who are still going backwards, do not know where they will reach. What the hell did the chief angel show me? Could it be something that happened before? Yi Chu didn't expect him to have some guesses in his heart, but Yi Chu wasn't sure what the angel leader was showing him, and what time period it was. Then Yi Chu continued to look down. The picture constructed by the angel leader kept going backwards. After some time, the picture finally stopped slowly. At this time, Yi Chu was already very surprised, because the angel universe in the past was completely different from the current one. At this time, the angel universe is still barren, and there are no planets in the angel universe. Yi Chu, you also have some doubts in your heart. There are no planets in the angel universe, but now he also knows in his heart that there are many feather planets in the angel universe, so how did these feather planets come from? At this time, a huge figure appeared in the image. This figure was like the sky with his feet on the ground above his head. He stood in the universe of angels, as if he was the only person in the universe like angels. Angels are the same as the masters of the universe. Yi Chu looked at this person closely. When he saw this person, although Yi Chu didn't stand next to this person, Yi Chu also felt that this person's aura was incomparably huge. Even through the picture of history, Yi Chu felt a majestic coercion. Even with Yi Chu's current strength, he felt that some blood was boiling in his body, and there was some terrifying feeling. The angel leader's body was also trembling constantly, but he was still showing Yi Chu this picture. At this time, Yi Chu also intuitively felt that this must be a very important picture, so Yi Chu's eyes were fixed on this picture, and he was also very curious and shocked. Who is the person in the picture? He seems to be somewhat similar to the angel family, but it doesn't seem to be the current angel family. Yi Chu was a little surprised, and then he looked at the characters in the picture and thought to himself. At this moment, the giant in the picture began to move. When the giant moved, the space seemed to shake for him, and the power of time flowed around him. And behind the giant, there are a total of 12 pairs of wings. These 12 pairs of wings are constantly waving at this time. The surrounding space is constantly vibrating between the wings, and countless space cracks emerge from his wings. But it didn't do any harm to his wings. I want to create the universe. Indistinctly, Yi Chu seemed to hear the giant say this, and then Yi Chu's pupils began to shrink a little, because he found countless feathers flying out of the 12 pairs of wings behind the giant. These feathers flew up into the sky and then fell down. When these feathers fell down, these feathers also became incomparably huge, occupying some places in the vast angel universe, and then slowly rotated and turned into some planets. At this time, after these feathers turned into the size of a planet, they were constantly flipping, and there was also a strong power of time flowing on them. After some time, some tiny life began to appear on these huge feathers, as well as mountains and rivers and other things. I see, he's creating the angel universe. I didn't expect that the feather planet in the angel universe came to be like this. At this time, after Yi Chu saw such a scene, he finally understood in his heart why the leader of the angels insisted on showing him this scene, because there were some things he wanted to know. At this time, Yi Chu was completely shocked. When he saw the countless feather planets in the angel universe, he was also a little surprised. He guessed how these feather planets appeared. After all, there is no innate in nature. A feather-like planet appeared. Yi Chu didn't think much about it at that time, but at this time, he completely understood in his heart that the feather planet was formed by the feathers behind this giant. The scene continued to develop, and the giant was also constantly creating planets and enriching the universe. After a period of time, the universe was slowly shaped by him into what it is now. There are a few similarities, but there are also big differences. Maybe the reason for the many years apart. The angel leader next to him was also clenching his teeth. His body was able to continuously exude the power of time, and he was also pushing hard so that Yi Chu could see all the pictures. After a while, the picture in front of Yi Chu finally slowed down. It slowly dissipated, and the angel leader could no longer hold on. Crack! The scene in front of Yi Chu's eyes suddenly disappeared, and at this time the angel leader also fell to the ground, because at this time he had already used all his strength. 323. The request of the chief angel. The angel leader used all his strength to show this picture, and he also paid a lot of strength. At this time, he was already sitting on the ground tired. If you just look at the ordinary picture, it is fine, but this picture has passed countless years, and the strength of the person in the picture is also very strong, so the angel leader actually persisted for such a long time, but it's already amazing. Yi Chu's expression was also a little complicated at this time. Yi Chu turned his head to look at the angel leader who fell on the ground next to me. The angel leader was panting, and Yi Chu's eyes were full of shock. The chief angel, please tell me who was that person just now. Yi Chu turned his head and asked the angel leader. After hearing what Yi Chu said, the angel leader took a deep breath and said to Yi Chu, who was that person Yi Chu just now? Maybe you already have some answers, why are you still asking me? After hearing the words of the angel leader, Yi Chu was also silent for a while, and then Yi Chu said, the angel leader, that person is the angel family, the one who created the angel universe, and the one who created your angel family. It is not too much for him to be the first ancestor of your angel race. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing Yi Chu say this, the angel leader also nodded. Yi Chu, now you should know why I wasn't surprised at all after hearing what you said. The angel leader opened his mouth again to see Yi Chu panting. After hearing the angel leader's words, Yi Chu also nodded. He finally understood why the angel leader said that he was not surprised at all, because the angel leader had already experienced more and more. Surprising thing. Angel leader, you can actually find such a thing. Since the ancestor of your angel family is so powerful, could it be that he died in the end? Yi Chu asked the angel leader, but the angel leader shook his head after hearing what Yi Chu said. Yi Chu, there have been countless masters in our angel universe, and there are masters with such powerful ancestors of angels, but most of them have not died, especially the ancestors of angels are definitely not dead, but they do not exist now. In this universe, so I suspect that the first ancestor of angels and others went to a larger world. At this time, the angel leader opened his mouth and expressed his guesses to Yi Chu. After hearing what the angel leader said, Yi Chu also nodded. In fact, he was thinking the same way now. Yi Chu, since you want to find the most powerful universe in your heart, and after I show you this image, I might be able to help you a little bit, but I have a request, I hope you can listen to it. The angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing what the angel leader said, Yi Chu was silent for a while, then raised his head and nodded. Angel Chief, anyway, after you showed me this video this time, it really helped me a lot, and you are so tired, but you just don't know what your requirements are now. If your requirements are not special, if it's too much, I can promise you. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, the angel leader also nodded. Yi Chu, I think you are a person with great power, great talent and great talent. Your future achievements will definitely be higher than mine, so your chances of finding a bigger universe are much stronger than mine, and you were originally in another universe. You can also come to our angel universe, so I believe in my heart that you will definitely be able to find that big world in the future. Quote. I suspect that the ancestor of angels and the strongest masters in our angel universe have entered that big world, so I hope that if you find information about a larger world in the future, please tell me. At this time, the angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing the angel leader say this, Yi Chu was silent for a while, and then nodded. He will definitely agree to what the angel leader said, because the angel leader is also very helpful to him in this matter, and even if he discovers this larger universe, he will not have any loss by telling the angel leader himself. Happy but not. After seeing Yi Chu nod, the angel leader felt a little joy in his heart. If Yi Chu could really find out information about the larger universe, it would be of great help to him. For the angel leader really wants to find the ancestor of the angel, and what he wants to find even more is the elder angel who accompanied him and trained him when he was a child. Okay, if that's the case, what should you do next, Yi Chu? At this time, the angel leader stood up. His body no longer looked as tired as before. He looked at Yi Chu and asked. Yi Chu thought for a while after hearing the angel leader's question, and then raised his head. Quote, Angel leader, I still hope to pretend to be your angelic cosmic person. In this way, a lot of troubles can be avoided. I am also going to serve as the commander of the Eastern Sky Territory again. This will also have a lot of benefits for me. Yi Chu said that he did this for the above reasons, and he had already met a lot of friends in the Dongfang Tianyu area, and he also had his own palace, so living there was the most suitable for him now. Okay, no matter how you look on the surface, you can be the commander of the Eastern Heaven, but in fact you and I are just cooperation and allies. The angel leader thought for a while, nodded, and then said. When Yi Chu heard the angel leader say this, Yi Chu also nodded, feeling good for the angel leader, Wang Li's, in his heart. Yi Chu, can we go out now? I can also treat you well after you go out. The angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing what the angel leader said, Yi Chu nodded after thinking about it. Then Yi Chu followed the angel leader and walked out of the room. After a while, Yi Chu and the angel leader walked outside the room. When the two came out of that room, the left and right protectors were still there not far away. When the two of them saw Yi Chu, they also became a little surprised, because at this time they found that the angel leader seemed to be very respectful to Yi Chu. What's the matter? Why after Yi Chu and the angel chief went in for a while, they looked like they were the same generation. At this time, both the left and right guardians saw such a situation, and they were a little surprised and thought to themselves. 324. The flattery of the left protector. Left and right guardians, you are here. I just happened to tell you. I found that Yichu's talent and strength are far higher than I thought, and his personality is also my appetite. Talking with him is like a confidant. So from now on Yichu, although I am the leader of the Eastern Heavenly Domain, but in fact, I am going to regard him as my brother. Quote. At this time, the angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing the angel leader say this, the left and right guardians' hearts were filled with waves, which were very unbelievable. Before, although they thought that the angel leader might give Yichu a huge reward, they didn't expect the angel leader to say this after he came out, which made them feel unbelievable. But although they were extremely surprised, after a period of time passed, they still accepted the result in their hearts. Lord Angel, we know, from now on we will have great respect for Yichu. The right protector was the first to slow down and said this to Yichu and the angel leader. After hearing the right protector say this, the angel leader also nodded. How about you, Protector Zuo? The angel leader turned his head and asked the guardian Zuo. After hearing the question from the angel leader, the guardian Zuo hesitated for a while, but also hurriedly stepped forward and said to the angel leader, My Lord Angel, I will also treat ye like the right guardian. Chu is very respectful. Zuo Hufa 083 said, he was a little unwilling in his heart, but what could he do when he was unwilling? Yichu had already been regarded as his brother by the angel leader at this time, and Yichu's potential was extremely huge. Yichu's future also made him feel a little terrified. I felt that after Yichu, as long as I didn't take revenge on him, it would be fine. Hufa Zuo felt in his heart that if Yichu spoke ill of him to the angel leader, it might have a great impact on him. Zuo Hufa raised his head and looked towards Yichu, with a rather flattering smile on his face. His heart was full of bitterness, but there was a smile on his face. He looked at Yichu and wanted to please Yichu, but Yichu didn't even look at Guardian Zuo. Although he knew that Guardian Zuo wanted to please him, Yichu didn't even look at him. Don't care. After seeing Yichu's face, Protector Zuo felt a little unhappy, but he couldn't say anything anymore, and Yichu walked outside. Angel Chief, if that's the case, then I'll leave here first and go to my Eastern Domain BI. Yichu opened his mouth, and after hearing Yichu say this, the angel leader nodded, and he wanted to send Yichu away, and then the angel leader walked out. Yichu, do you want me to give you a ride? The angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing what the angel leader said, Yichu also shook his head. After seeing Yichu shaking his head, the angel leader also nodded, and then the angel leader turned to look at the left guardian and the right guardian. The two of you, the guardians left and right, send Yichu a ride. After all, he is my brother now, so you can't forget the etiquette. You must be very respectful to him. The angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing what the angel leader said, Guardian Zuo also nodded hurriedly, and Guardian Zuo now also felt that if he could send Yichu a ride, maybe he would be able to please Yichu when he was with Yichu. Autumn. It wasn't necessarily that Yichu could have a good impression of him in his heart, as long as Yichu looked down on him in his heart, and then ignored him. After hearing what the angel leader said, Yichu didn't pay much attention to it, and immediately the guardians on the left and right came to Yichu's side. Lord Yichu, let's go, now we can give you a ride. You don't know, I and the left and right guardians are very fast. If you have me, you can return to the Eastern Sky Territory faster. Quote. At this time, the left protector said, and after hearing the words of the left protector, the right protector also laughed. Guardian Zuo, I'm afraid you don't know yet. Yichu's speed is much faster than you think, and his speed is a bit faster than mine. He also brought me here quickly before, otherwise we're probably going to be a little late soon. At this time, the right protector looked at the left protector and said, and when the right protector said this, the left protector was also turbulent in his heart. He felt a little unbelievable in his heart. The speed of the two of them in the angel world can be said to be the strongest person under the angel leader. He didn't expect that a Yichu would appear, and Yichu's speed was even faster than theirs. Really, I didn't expect Lord Yichu to be so fast. Protector Zuo opened his mouth. At this time, his heart was absolutely full of shock. He also felt that he knew why the leader of the angels admired Yichu so much, and even considered Yichu his brother. When he thought of this, Zuo wanted to please Yichu even more in his heart. Okay, it seems that we can't help Lord Yichu's speed to become very fast. Maybe we will drag Lord Yichu's speed a little bit. Please don't mind Lord Yichu. The left protector opened his mouth and said to Yichu. The right protector also looked at Yichu closely. He did not expect Yichu to enter the room of the angel leader, and after coming out, his status had undergone such a huge change. Yichu's current status is so honorable, but the right protector doesn't know why Yichu still wants to go back to the Eastern Sky territory, but the right protector doesn't ask anymore. Immediately afterwards, Yichu flew forward with the Guardian Zuo, and the Guardian Zuo also accompanied Yichu all the time. When Yichu had any questions, they kept explaining to Yichu. Yichu didn't fly very fast this time. He also took some detours because he wanted to see if he could find some unusual places in the universe. Before, because of his status and strength, he could not fly unscrupulously in the angel world. But at this time, the angel leader already knew his true identity and expressed his desire to cooperate with him, so in this case, even if Yichu flew casually in the angel world, there would not be a little thing. Yichu's speed is not very complicated. He is constantly checking the angel world, but it makes him a little regretful that he has not found anything abnormal. When the few people were walking along the way, Protector Zuo was also constantly flirting with Yichu. He wanted to please Yichu, but Yichu had always been very indifferent to him, which made Protector Zuo feel a little apprehensive in his heart. 325. People return. However, Zuo felt in his heart that if Yichu kept ignoring him, he might ignore him, and this would be a good thing for him. Lord Yichu, I hope you don't mind what happened to me before. I didn't know you were so powerful before. In the future, I will definitely respect you very much. You can tell me at any time. When it was about to reach the Eastern Heaven territory, the Guardian Zuo finally couldn't help speaking to Yichu. Yichu fell silent after hearing the words of the Guardian Zuo, while the Guardian Right also looked at the Guardian Zuo silently at this time. The left protector felt that there seemed to be some very contemptuous rays of light pierced into the left protector's heart from the right protector's eyes, and the left protector felt as if his face had been seen through. However, Zuo didn't care that much in his heart. He also completely took his own face and told Yichu this. Otherwise, if Yichu really didn't like him, there might be a great crisis for his future. Yichu was silent the whole time, which made Zuo feel very uneasy. Zuo looked at Yichu in surprise. There was some hope in his eyes, and the whole person looked a little pitiful. Haha, Protector Zuo, you really think too much. How could I care about what you said before for a little guy like you? Didn't you see that I didn't look straight at you all the time? At this time, Yichu laughed and said to Protector Zuo, because Protector Zuo also tried to humiliate Yichu before, so this time Yichu also used his own way to treat others, although he didn't have much in his heart. Care. After hearing Yichu say this, the Guardian Zuo not only did not feel any anger in his palms, but instead felt a little happy tilde. Because at this time, although Yichu's words were ugly, the meaning in Yichu's words was that he would not care about such a small person in the future, and this also made Zuo happy. Haha, Lord Yichu just don't care about this little guy like me. Protector Zuo said to Yichu. He also decided in his heart not to provoke this Yichu again. What does the humiliation suffered this time have anything to do with it? Yichu had already entered the Eastern Heaven territory at this time. When Yichu entered the Eastern Heaven territory, the experts on the planets in the Eastern Heaven territory also saw Yichu and the left and right guardians. When they saw Yichu and the left and right guardians, they also became a little surprised, because at this time Yichu seemed to be standing in front of the left and right guardians. During this period of time, because the guardian left has come to the Eastern Sky territory. Some of the more powerful masters in the Eastern Sky also know that the angel leader really has guardians on the left and right, and the strength of the two guardians is not lower than that of the commander, and I am afraid that it is stronger than the strength of the commander. But what surprised them was that the guardians on the left and right stood beside Yi Chu, and it seemed that his identity was actually a few levels lower than Yi Chu's. It seems that Yi Chu must have gained a lot after going this time. Otherwise, the left and right guardians would not be so respectful to him. Lord Yi Chu, please take care of our request in the future. A master from the Eastern Sky Territory planet flew over and said with a gift in his hand. Yi Chu also accepted the gift at will, and then threw it into his storage space. Master Yi Chu, there is a goddess who is as beautiful as flowers on our planet. That woman is the most beautiful woman on our planet, and that beauty is also my daughter. Now I think if you want, I can send my daughter to me. To you. Someone also said, and he brought his daughter next to him. His daughter is indeed an alluring country, but when Yi Chu saw it, there was no lustful light in his eyes, because Yi Chu had also seen it before. Many beautiful women, especially Kiki and Bulma, were the most beautiful in Yi Chu's heart. Moreover, Yi Chu didn't have too many thoughts. Now that he was looking for a new woman, he actually had Kiki and Bulma in his heart, and he was actually very satisfied. Don't worry, you are all from the Eastern Heaven Territory, or it can be said that you are my subordinates. I will definitely rectify this land so that you can live very happily. Yi Chu spoke, and they nodded after hearing what Yi Chu said, feeling a little overjoyed in their hearts. This time, they also got Yi Chu's answer and completed their mission. Question mark 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 question mark. Zuo Hufa also saw the words and respectful expressions that these planetary masters said to Yi Chu. Zuo Hufa was also a little surprised. He knew that Yi Chu had not been here for a long time. It's been a long time to stay here, but this has already rectified the place so well, and even when walking, some experts from the planet sent gifts to Yi Chu. In fact, this is not only due to Yi Chu's credit, but also to the angels Caesar, Yamozi and others. Not long after that, Yi Chu had already seen Moana Angel Star. Moana Angel Star was even more brilliant at this time. Moana Angel Star was in the deepest area of the Eastern Sky Territory. Compared to other planets, Moana Angel Star was also much bigger. 0. Floating in the angel universe, it was as light as a huge feather, but it exuded heavy gravity, because at this time Yi Chu already knew that these planets in the angel world were actually transformed by the feathers on the ancestors. Made of. And the angel star of Mona must be a very important feather on the ancestor, otherwise it would be impossible to transform such a huge planet. When Yi Chu came back, the demon lord Yamozi also felt Yi Chu's breath, and then they quickly flew out of the planet. When they flew out from the planet, they also saw the stars in the distant starry sky. Yi Chu. Yi Chu was standing in the starry sky at this time, rushing towards them, and beside Yi Chu there were left and right guardians. When he saw Yi Chu, the demon lord finally felt a little relaxed in his heart, because he was very worried about Yi Chu before, although when Yi Chu left here before, he gave him a smile. Yi Chu sent Yi Chu, but in his heart he was just comforting Yi Chu and himself. Only at this time did he feel completely relieved when he saw Yi Chu coming back. Haha, brothers, I'm back. At this time, Yi Chu also saw the demon lord, Yamozi and the others. He opened his mouth and said, Yi Chu's voice was transmitted directly into the Moana Angel Star, so that all the creatures on the Moana Angel Star could hear it. 7. 326. Da Ching. They also raised their heads and looked at the figure in the sky. That person was Yi Chu. Although Yi Chu's figure was not very large, it seemed to cover the sky, and it looked extremely imposing. Moreover, Yi Chu also had some passion in his heart at this time. This passion was like the vigorous grass and flowers, which one day would bloom with bright colors. Haha, you are the Lord of Demons and Yamozi, you are Yi Chu's good friends, don't worry this time. After Yi Chu went to the Angel Chief, the Angel Chief also gave Yi Chu a very good reward. Since you are Yi Chu's good friends, you will definitely be very happy and happy. At this time, the Right Protector also stepped forward and said to the Demon Lord and Yamozi, because the Demon Lord's August 17 inches can be said to be Yi Chu's good friend, so the Right Protector is also in his heart to the Demon Lord. He and Yamozi had some good feelings in their hearts. After hearing the Right Protector say this, the Demon Lord and Yamozi were also a little happy in their hearts. Moreover, the Guardian Right has not said much. If the Guardian Right said that the Angel Leader regarded Yi Chu as his brother, he did not know how shocked the people around him would be. But even so, the news from the Guardian Right has already made Tianyang Divine Art people felt extremely shocked. In their eyes, the Angel Leader is a person who sees the dragon but does not see the end, and when the Angel Leader appears by chance, he is also with great majesty, so they feel that the Angel Leader is very awe-inspiring, and they are also don't dare to approach the Angel Leader, and sometimes even the Angel Leader doesn't dare to imagine it. Haha, Yi Chu, you're finally back. It's good to come back, it's good to come back, and this time, you also let the Angel Leader give you a huge reward. After this time, we must have a good meal and drink. Quote. And Yi Chu, look around, we have built the Eastern Heaven territory so well in the few days you left, especially the Angel Star of Mona, which is now much more brilliant than before. At this time, the Demon Lord laughed and said to Yi Chu. Yi Chu nodded when he heard what the Demon Lord said, with a faint light flickering in his eyes. Also very grateful. Yi Chu looked at the palace behind the Demon Lord. This palace was his new commander's palace. When Yi Chu looked at this palace, his heart was slightly fluctuating. This palace is more grand, and it covers a large area. There are even some small markets and cities around it. In the few days that I left, you did manage the Angel Star of Mona and the Eastern Sky territory so well, and built my palace so well, which is beyond my expectations, and I am also very much for you. Grateful. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, Yamoshi and the Demon Lord also nodded. However, Yi Chu is not one of us. The credit of a few people is the credit of many people, and the Angel Caesar and Yamoshi also contributed a lot. When Yi Chu said this, Yi Chu also nodded. He glanced around, and there seemed to be some magical power in his eyes. When Yi Chu looked at the people around him, everyone couldn't help but change. Got serious. Don't worry, today you sacrifice a drop of sweat for me, tomorrow we will give you 10 times the happiness. Yi Chu opened his mouth, his voice was loud, and it seemed to contain some pleasant breath. After hearing Yi Chu say this, the people around cheered, and they felt more and more satisfied with Yi Chu in their hearts. Those who resolutely joined Yi Chu before felt a little fortunate in their hearts, because they chose to join Yi Chu before, so Yi Chu remembered them. Big. Okay, I have returned to the Angel Star of Mona, and you can go back too. Yi Chu turned his head and said to the left and right guardians. The left and right guardians also nodded after hearing Yi Chu say this. Haha, Lord Yi Chu, if you need any help in the future, please don't be polite, tell us, and we will do our best to help you. Before the left guard left, the left guard and the right guard turned their heads and said to Yi Chu. After hearing the words of the two, Yi Chu also nodded lightly, and his heart did not fluctuate much, but the hearts of the people around him were turbulent, especially those who knew the Fa right. What's the matter? Protector Zuo is suddenly so respectful to Yi Chu. It seems that Yi Chu's status is even very high. Didn't you hear that Protector Zuo was only respectful to the Angel Chief? Why does he respect Yi Chu now? Quote. Chicheng was also standing next to him at this time, and he was very surprised when he thought about it in his heart, and even opened his mouth, but he didn't close it for a long time. Haha, this time I'm back, I must celebrate well, I also got a lot of rewards. Yes, Yi Chu, you are right, you must celebrate well, celebrate well. Yi Chu and the Demon Lord said one after another, and then Yi Chu walked into his room, and the Demon Lord and Yamozi also walked down, preparing to start the banquet. The banquet this time was also very large, and when Yi Chu held the banquet, many experts from the Eastern Heaven domain came, and the holy angels also came over. Moreover, what Yi Chu did during this period was also spread out, and the fact that the right protector was very respectful to Yi Chu was also spread out, which made the experts in Tianyang Shengong feel a little shocked. In particular, the holy angel felt a little shocked in his heart. At this time, the holy angel felt that his strength was probably no longer Yi Chu's opponent, but only a little time had passed. Therefore, the holy angel also respects Yi Chu very much. If he looks down on Yi Chu now or treats Yi Chu as a peer, perhaps after a period of time, Yi Chu's strength and status will completely surpass him, which will be a bit embarrassing. Yi Chu's banquet was very big, and countless experts came here. Here, each of them was very good at eating, drinking and having fun. Yi Chu brought out some Dragon Balls and food from the demon universe for them. Taste. 327. Martial Arts Magic. When Yi Chu took out the things from the Dragon Ball universe, his expression was also a little dazed, and his mind fell into a state of reminiscence. I don't know what happened to Kiki and the people at Walmart. I don't even know what the Dragon Ball world is like now. Yi Chu thought to himself that they also missed Chi-Chi a little. In Yi Chu's heart, he felt that in a while, he might have to go back to the Dragon Ball world, and at this time the angel leader already knew his true identity, especially the angel leader who was very supportive of him, looking for a bigger world. So at this time, he wants to leave the angel world, and then go back to the Dragon Ball world. After arriving in the Dragon Ball world, he will bring Wukong and Kiki Bulma and others over. They must be very excited at that time. After a while, Yi Chu went to his own house, and he began to cultivate continuously. During this period of time, my level and strength have risen a bit, and I have also obtained a lot of exchange points. Maybe I can exchange a very good exercise in the system to improve my combat power a little bit. Yi Chu thought to himself that the reason why he hadn't exchanged the 18 Gong techniques before was because of the ultimate inspiration technique, as well as the Super Saiyan transformation and teleportation, which were already very practical for him. Yi Chu didn't feel that he needed anything before, but now Yi Chu knew about such a master as the ancestor of the angel, and felt that there might be more powerful masters hidden in this world. His current strength is not worth mentioning at all, so Yi Chu thought in his heart that he should improve his strength. Just what should I exchange to improve my strength? Yi Chu thought to himself that he was also a little tangled, because there were so many options that he could exchange now, so he didn't know what he should exchange in his heart. Look at those exercises first. Yi Chu thought to himself. He opened the system right after, and when Yi Chu opened the system, he also opened the option of exchanging exercises. At this time, Yi Chu had already sunk into the system, and seeing a dazzling array of treasures floating in front of his eyes made Yi Chu feel very excited. His blood was beating a little, and he looked at some of the treasures with envy. Some of the treasures, even he can't exchange for the other party now. After a while, Yi Chu saw a practice technique, and his eyes lit up slightly. The name of this practice is called Tianyang Shengong, and it is a practice in the martial arts world. It turned out to be a martial arts technique in the world of martial arts. The name of this technique is called Tianyang Shengong, which is also very nice, and in the past, I wanted to exchange some techniques in the martial arts world, because the previous system it was said that the martial arts in the world of martial arts may radiate even more light when they reach other worlds. Quote. Yi Chu looked at this exercise called Tianyang Divine Exercise, and his heart also became a little eager to move. In fact, in his last life, he had always had a martial arts dream in his heart. Since he was a child, he was waving a branch and constantly regarded himself as a martial artist. Heroes, when you reach Shouda, you will play games and treat yourself as a warrior. He has always had a martial arts dream in his heart, but at this time, Yi Chu's heart was constantly fluctuating when he saw this Tianyang divine art. He felt that his dream would be realized on this day. After being silent for a while, Yi Chu finally made up his mind. I decided to exchange for this martial arts exercise called Tianyang Shengong. Yi Chu thought to himself that he immediately exchanged for this exercise called Tianyang Divine Art. The exchange points for this exercise were not very small, but rather a lot, which was obviously very precious. But Yi Chu didn't care. He didn't know how many exchange points there were, as long as the exchange was appropriate. Yi Chu had already exchanged the exercise called Tianyang Divine Exercise, and his exchange point also disappeared in an instant, and then a small beige notebook appeared in Yi Chu's palm. Tianyang Divine Art. When he was holding the Tianyang Shenggong in his hand, Yi Chu also seemed to be in a state of reminiscence, thinking that when he was a child, there were often such exercises called Tianyang Shenggong on martial arts TV when he was a child. Yi Chu slowly opened the Tianyang Divine Art. When he opened the book, he also found that the material of this book was actually very complicated, although it looked a bit shabby. Even with his current strength, this technique cannot be destroyed at all. It is extremely tough. Yi Chu felt that this technique might be even more precious than he imagined. 90% of the exercises in this book called Tianyang Shenggong were illustrations. These illustrations were performed one by one. When these movements are connected together, there is a kind of mysterious the mystery is contained in it. Is this the Tianyang Divine Art? There are some very mysterious places in it. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and his heart was also slightly moved, because Yi Chu's strength was not very weak at this time, and his strength was also very strong, so Yi Chu could see at a glance that this day's young divine art was very precious. Yi Chu continued to look up, and he found that there were some annotations on the back of this 443 young divine art, or behind some of the icons, which would allow him to better practice this Tianyang divine art. Yi Chu flipped through it for a while, and suddenly found a piece of handwriting on a certain page. It seemed to be written in ancient China, but Yi Chu could still understand it. I have practiced Tianyang divine art all my life, and martial arts are unmatched in the world, but in my life, I have regrets in my heart, that is, I have not been able to fully develop Tianyang divine art. I feel that there is spiritual energy between heaven and earth, but the spiritual energy of heaven and earth is thin, so that although my Tianyang divine art is extremely exquisite, I have not been able to fully exert the peak mystery of Tianyang divine art, which is a pity. I hope that after the person who has the predestined relationship obtains the Tianyang divine art book, he can carry forward the Tianyang divine art, and not let him be dusted, so as to satisfy my lifelong wish. This passage has ended here, and Yi Chu also felt the emotion of the person who created this Tianyang divine exercise. Don't worry, since I got this exercise called Tianyang Shenggong, I will definitely not let him get dusty. What you have never been able to achieve will be achieved in my hands. You created this exercise in you, it is destined to be known to everyone and will be carried forward. Quote. Yi Chu stood there and opened his mouth lightly, and then he slowly closed the Tianyang divine art. 328. The Mind of the Six Holding Angels. Before, Yi Chu had almost completely read the manual of Tianyang divine art, and the diagrams were also imprinted in Yi Chu's mind. Will be greatly improved. In the past, Yi Chu's melee combat was already very powerful. At this time, Yi Chu felt that as long as he practiced this Tianyang divine art, his melee combat strength would be improved even more. More mysteries will be revealed, but what will happen will only be seen at a later time. Recently, Yi Chu has been improving his strength in Mona Angel, and he is also preparing to return to the Dragon Ball world. And the Eastern Heavenly Domain almost completely surrendered to Yi Chu. The power of the entire Eastern Heavenly Domain continued to develop, and it didn't take long for it to surpass the power of the other three heavenly domains in the angel world. Yi Chu is not in the pool. If he doesn't have any bad thoughts, it is indeed a good thing for our angel world, but if he has any bad thoughts, it may be a disaster for us. Among the other three commanders, one commander opened his mouth and said, inexplicably worried. The name of this commander was called the Angel of Six Persistence, but he didn't know the relationship between the angel leader and Yi Chu at this time, so he was also worried about the angel leader. Moreover, the main six angels were also a little unhappy seeing Yi Chu, thinking that he had worked so hard to get to this position, and it cost him a huge price, but Yi Chu reached his position so easily, and he was already so quickly. Going beyond the past, Angel Luji also had some jealousy and hatred towards Yi Chu in his heart. Lord Leader seems to have always been very disgusted by those whose strength threatens him. At this time, as long as I spread the news and then try to stir up discord, maybe Lord Angel Leader will be very resentful of Yi Chu. Then take action against Yi Chu, wipe Yi Chu out or imprison him in advance, and even if it doesn't work, he will suppress Yi Chu. Lu Xiongong thought this way in his heart. When he thought this way, his heart became a little bit eager to move, and then Lu Xiongong had already walked down, and he was ready to realize his plan. After thinking about it for a while, the 6 angels also went to the other 2 commanders, and then told the other 2 commanders about the same thing. Another commander said that he could help a little with this matter, but the holy angel expressed his disapproval of this matter. Luji Angel, you really want to tell the angel leader this? Maybe the angel leader will be very angry with you, because at this time Yi Chu is a big red man by the angel leader's side. The holy angel opened his mouth and said this to the 6-brained angel. After hearing the holy angel say this, the 6-brained angel fell silent. After hesitating for a while, the 6-braced angel also raised his head. Holy angel, I know why you hesitate, I know what you are afraid of, but you must know that Yi Chu is very strange. He doesn't know when he came to our angel world, and there are still many loopholes in him. I suspect that he must have a big problem, so for the sake of our angel world, I must report this matter to the angel chief. The 6-braced angel said, and his expression seemed very serious, but in fact, he said this partly for his own interests, and partly because the 6-braced angel felt that he said this, even if Yi Chu had nothing to do. The angel leader will also feel that he is a person who is very considerate of the angelic world, and may give him some benefits. On this day, the angel leader was in his palace and felt the 6 angels coming from outside. Left protector and right protector, is Lord Angel Chief inside. After the 6 angels came, they first asked the left and right guardians. The guardian Zuo was silent for a while after hearing the question from Angel 6, and then said indifferently, Angel 6, what is the matter with you this time? Father Zuo, I have an important thing to tell the angel leader this time. Please be accommodating and let me in. When the 6-handed angel opened his mouth, the guardian Zuo also hesitated. Just when the Zuo protector didn't know whether to let the 6-handed angel in, the voice of the angel leader also came from the palace. Left and right guardians, let the 6 angels come in. I want to see what he has come here this time. The voice of the angel leader came from the palace, and after hearing the voice of the angel leader, the guardian left also nodded, and then the guardian left and right brought the 6 angels in. When the 6 angels entered the palace of the chief angel, he did not know why there was some timid in his body and mind. The leader of the angels sat on the dragon chair above the palace and looked straight at the 6 angels. Angel 6. What exactly is going on with you this time? Just tell me quickly, I want to listen carefully. The angel leader opened his mouth and asked the angel 6. The angel was silent for a while, sorted out his mood, and then took a deep breath to adjust his nervousness. Lord Angel, in fact, I came here to tell you something. When the 6-handed angel opened his mouth, the angel leader was also a little curious. He didn't know what the 6-handed angel wanted to say. If that's the case, please tell me the 6 angels, what exactly are you trying to say, Li Nuos? Asked the chief angel. Lord Angel, I wonder if you know what Yi Chu has done recently. The angel of 6 grasps opened his mouth and said to the angel leader. After hearing the angel of 6 grasps say this, the leader of the angel also moved in his heart. But he didn't seem to have any expression on the surface, there was no wave at all, and he didn't know what he was thinking in his heart. I know what Yi Chu did. I heard that Yi Chu has managed the Eastern Heaven Territory very well, and Yi Chu's overall strength of the Eastern Heaven Territory has surpassed the strength of your other 3 heaven territories. The angel leader opened his mouth, and there were some compliments to Yi Chu in his words. After hearing the words of the angel leader, the 6-brained angel nodded, but he did not agree with it very much in his heart. The chief spoke up. 329. One slap to fly. Master Angel, Yi Chu's power has grown so rapidly, don't you have some fears in your heart? You must know that Yi Chu's potential is also extremely huge. If his strength continues to improve in the future, he may have some threats to you. If he has the intention of rebelling in the future, perhaps our angel world will usher in a catastrophe. Quote. At this time, the Angel of Six Grasps still said to the angel leader. After hearing the words of the Angel of Six Grasps, the heart of the angel leader also fluctuated slightly. However, the face of the angel leader did not seem to have changed, which also made the six angels not know what the angel leader was thinking, but in this case, the six angels thought that the angel leader did not feel anything, so the six angels also continued to tell Get Up. Lord Angel, I am also thinking of our angel world. From what I see, we should arrest Yi Chu as soon as possible to prevent him from causing harm to our angel world. The six-handed angel said this to the angel leader. After hearing the words of the six-handed angel, the angel leader began to be silent. At this time, the left and right guardians were also standing beside him. After the left and right guardians heard the words of the six-wielding angel, their hearts also began to fluctuate constantly. At this time, the right protector looked at the six-wielding angel like a fool. And Zuo Hufa's face also contained some sneer, because at this time, everyone in 217 knew the relationship between the angel leader and the six-handed angel. The six-handed angel dared to say this to the angel leader, and his fate can be imagined. And no. But at this time, Protector Zuo actually had some luck in his heart. He hoped that the words spoken by the six-handed angel could indeed have some effect on the angel leader. In fact, Protector Zuo also wanted to say these words in his heart, but he didn't have the guts to say it. Several people are looking at the angel leader closely. The angel leader is standing on it at this time, and his eyes are also looking at the six-brained angel. At this time, the six-brained angel is still talking to the angel leader. He feels that he is far away. It's not long before success. Lord Angel, what do you think of what I said? The six-handed angel said a lot of words in a row. He raised his head and asked the angel leader. After hearing the six-handed angel's question, the angel leader's eyes gradually began to condense. What do you think I think you said? The angel leader asked indifferently. After hearing the angel leader's question, Lu Xiang also talked about his own head. There was anticipation in his eyes. He felt that the angel leader had heard his words this time, perhaps because he agreed with him. The words, perhaps the angel leader will give him some rewards this time. I think what you're talking about is bullshit. The angel leader suddenly spoke, and his complexion began to change greatly, becoming a little hideous, and the angel leader actually burst into an extremely powerful momentum in an instant, rushing towards the six-brained angel, making the six-brained angel's legs a little bit trembling. He felt that he almost collapsed to the ground. At this moment, the angel leader slapped him again and slapped the angel directly on the face of the angel. He slapped the angel far away and hit the wall next to him. Above. PFF'd. The six-handed angel collided with the wall, and then fell from the wall. He slowly raised his head on the ground, there was some blood in his mouth, and his nose was bruised. Lord Angel, why are you angry? Why are you hitting me? The six-wielding angel said in disbelief. He didn't expect that after he just said those words, the angel leader suddenly changed his face and attacked him fiercely. I'm afraid you don't know yet. I have already regarded Yi Chu as my brother, so I still have to take action against my brother. If Yi Chu really has the ambition and strength, I don't recommend this divide the universe. The angel leader spoke up, because if Yi Chu could find a bigger world, he might leave this place at that time, so even if he didn't own this place for the time being, it would mean nothing to him. Hearing the angel leader say this, the six-handed angel's heart continued to be turbulent, and he did not expect that he would get this result. At this time, the right protector who looked at the six-handed angel from a distance sneered, and the left protector was also slightly stunned. He had seen the fate of the six-handed angel, and he decided in his heart that no matter what the circumstances, even if it was Yi Chu's humiliation, you, yourself, can't be angry, and can't speak ill of Yi Chu. This time you have such thoughts towards Yi Chu. Maybe next time you will have some resentment towards Yi Chu, and then I will offend Yi Chu. Protect the law from left to right, and detain him first. The angel leader opened his mouth. After listening to the angel leader's words, the left and right guardians also walked over, and then escorted the 6 angels and locked them in the dark prison in the angel world. At this time, the outside world did not know these things. The holy angel and the other commander also had some doubts in their hearts. They knew that the 6-wielding angel went to the angel leader's palace and told the angel leader about Yi Chu. I don't know what will happen this time. Perhaps the 6 angels went to tell the angel leader this time. The angel leader will not punish Yi Chu right now, but he will be a little wary of Yi Chu in his heart. The holy angel thought so. At this time, the 6-handed angel had been taken by the guardian to play. After some time, because the 6-handed angel had not come out of the palace of the chief angel, the holy angel went to inquire about it, and also got the 6-handed angel and was imprisoned. With the news, the holy angel felt a little shocked in his heart. Gradually, this news also spread, which made all the people in the angel world feel a little shocked. Almost every expert in the angel world had some guesses as to why the 6-handed angel was imprisoned. It seems that Yi Chu is really very important in the eyes of the leader. Otherwise, the leader would not have imprisoned the 6 angels because of Yi Chu. The experts in the angel world thought so. The holy angel was also very shocked, and at this time, the holy angel also firmed up his idea of wanting to please Yi Chu. The other commander was also a little fortunate in his heart. Fortunately, he didn't go with the angel of 6 persistence in person before, otherwise he might suffer a lot this time, and he might even be detained together with angel of 6 persistence. Inside the prison. 330. Comprehend Tianyang magical art. After the incident of the 6-wielding angels, everyone had a new understanding of Yi Chu's status, and they no longer dared to offend Yi Chu, and the holy angels and the others became more respectful to Yi Chu. Yi Chu cultivated on Mona's angel star, and his strength was constantly improving. Although others were very envious of the prosperity of the Eastern Heaven territory, they did not dare to be jealous in their hearts. During this period of time, the Eastern Heaven territory has been very peaceful, and the angels in the Eastern Heaven territory have lived very happily. Because of Yi Chu, each of them has become happier than before. Because they took refuge in Yi Chu, they were also very proud of Yi Chu being the commander of the Eastern Heavenly Domain. Fortunately, Lord Yi Chu came to our Eastern Heaven territory. Otherwise, we don't know how many hard times we will have to live. Compared to the days when Lord Yi Chu came here, our previous life was nothing like life. Someone said, their hearts were filled with infinite joy, and they were very grateful to Yi Chu. During these days, Yi Chu had been sitting in his room. He was constantly studying the Tianyang divine art. During this time, Yi Chu had practiced the Tianyang divine art for some time, and his strength had been greatly improved. Especially his melee attack has improved a lot. On this day, Yi Chu was standing in a remote corner of Mona's angel star, practicing the heavenly sun god. However, if you look closely, you will find that Yi Chu's moves are not simple. There are invisible air currents surrounding Yi Chu's body as he moves his fingers, and the trajectory of those air currents seems to be full of profound mysteries. Yi Chu, what kind of exercises are you doing? Could you tell me about it? After the demon lord came here, he also saw Yi Chu's practice, but he had been standing beside him quietly watching Yi Chu practice the Tianyang magic. After Yi Chu finished practicing the Tianyang magic, the demon lord walked to Yi Chu. Chu's side asked, and Yi Chu also smiled slightly after hearing the demon master. Haha, you don't know about this exercise, the devil masters it. The name of this exercise is called Tianyang Shenggong. Its power is very powerful. In fact, I can teach it to you, but I don't know if you can practice it or not. Quote. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, the demon lord also felt a little joy in his heart. Yi Chu felt in his heart that even after imparting the Tianyang divine art to the demon lord would not necessarily be able to practice it, because Yi Chu made the exchange for this Tianying divine art based on himself. Because he is suitable for Tianying divine art, Yi Chu Kai exchanged this Tianying divine art, so he cultivated Tianying divine art very quickly, but if it was someone else, it might not be like this. Haha, Yi Chu, if that's the case, then quickly teach me the Tianying divine art. I'll see if I can practice it. When the demon lord opened his mouth, he also became a little expectant in his heart, because when the demon lord saw Yi Chu practicing the Tianying divine art, he seemed to be very profound and felt that the value of this Tianying divine art was very high. The demon lord felt that if he could successfully cultivate the Tianying divine art, his strength would be greatly improved. Okay, you should be optimistic about the master of the devil. Yi Chu opened his mouth and said to the demon lord, and then Yi Chu began to perform the heavenly sun magical art against the demon lord again, but this time Yi Chu performed it was not the same as when he performed it before, although it looks very similar. Yi Chu showed all the exercises in the book of Tianyang Shenggong to the demon lord through his own actions. If the demon lord could learn this exercise, he would naturally be able to learn from Yi Chu's moves. Comprehend the divine power of Tianyang. The demon lord watched Yi Chu's display closely. He felt that the Tianyang divine art displayed by Yi Chu was very mysterious, but the demon lord couldn't comprehend anything from it, and felt a little regretful in his heart. Devil Lord, have you realized anything? I have shown you all these mysteries just now. After Yi Chu showed the Tianyang divine art, he stood up and patted the dust on his body, and said to the demon lord. The demon lord also sighed after hearing Yi Chu say this. Yi Chu, it seems that I really am not a candidate to learn Tianyang divine art. Although it seemed very simple at that time, if I really understood it, it would be very difficult, and it seems that this Tianyang divine art is not very difficult. It is too suitable for me, I should forget it. Quote. The demon lord opened his mouth, and Yi Chu also smiled after hearing the demon lord say it. Don't worry about the master of the devil, maybe you will find your own exercises in the future. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, the demon lord also nodded, and he could only think so now. By the way, Yi Chu, didn't you say you were going to the Dragon Ball universe before, do you still want to go? At this time, the Lord of Demons asked Yi Chu. This time he came here not only to see Yi Chu practicing the Tianyang divine art, but to ask Yi Chu this question. After Yi Chu heard the Lord of Demons asking this question, he also became silent. Although he was silent, his heart was constantly fluctuating, because Yi Chu was also very longing for the Dragon Ball universe, and he wanted to return to the Dragon Ball universe. Then go see Kiki and Bulma. Seeing Yi Chu's silence, the demon lord also felt a little uneasy in his heart. The Lord of the Demons, you call Yamozi over, and let's discuss it carefully together. After Yi Chu thought about it for a while, he spoke to the demon lord. After hearing what Yi Chu said, the demon lord also nodded, and then the demon lord ran over and called Yamozi over. Not long after, Yamozi walked over with the demon lord. Yi Chu was already slightly overjoyed when he saw Yamozi. At this time, Yamozi also seemed to be a little happy, because he knew that Yi Chu called him here to discuss with him about going to the Dragon Ball universe. Yi Chu, you called me over this time to discuss the matter of going to the Dragon Ball universe. Yi Chu, we have been away from the Dragon Ball universe for a long time. During this period of time, the Dragon Ball universe does not know what will happen. When I am here, I miss the Dragon Ball universe very much, so I feel that in the recent period of time, we have to go back to the Dragon Ball universe. Quote. Yamozi spoke to Yi Chu. Yi Chu fell silent when he heard what Yamozi said. After a while, Yi Chu nodded. Force. 331. Farewell to the Angel Chief. Don't worry Yamozi, we are definitely going back to the Dragon Ball universe, but we still have to discuss the specific time to return to the Dragon Ball universe. Yi Chu opened his mouth and said to Yamozi. After hearing what Yi Chu said, Yamozi also nodded. Then the two of them sat together, and then Yi Chu brought out some delicious food. Stand up. Yamozi didn't eat much, because all he was worried about in his heart was returning to the Dragon Ball universe. When Yamozi left the Dragon Ball universe, he knew how happy he was in the Dragon Ball universe. Although he had a very good life here, Yamozi felt that he had his real friends in the Dragon Ball universe, and it felt like home there, so Yamozi wanted to return to the Dragon Ball universe. Come on, 097, Yi-Chu, we'd better go back to the Dragon Ball universe right away. Yamozi opened his mouth. Yi-Chu didn't smile after hearing what Yamozi said. Then the three of them continued to discuss. They just didn't know if Yi-Chu and Yamozi returned to the Dragon Ball universe. Then I don't know where to stay when the devil dominates. Master Majin, if Yamoshi and I return to the Dragon Ball universe, where are you staying? Yi-Chu turned his head and asked the Demon Lord, and the Demon Lord became silent after hearing Yi-Chu's words. Yi-Chu, when you guys leave here, then I may have to return to my own demon world. Because without you here, I may be in some danger by staying here alone. Although I may not encounter any danger, I also have some concerns in my heart. The Demon Lord opened his mouth. After hearing the Demon Lord say this, Yi-Chu also nodded. He could also understand the Demon Lord's thoughts in his heart. Okay, if that's the case, how about Yamozi letting us go to the Dragon Ball universe in the first half a month? Yi-Chu said to Yamozi. Yamozi thought about it after hearing what Yi-Chu said. If they return to the Dragon Ball universe in half a month, maybe it would be a good thing. It was much earlier than expected. Really, after half a month of Yi-Chu's time, we can return to the Dragon Ball universe. If so, let's go down and prepare. Yamozi looked very happy and said. After hearing what Yamozi said, Yi-Chu also nodded. Seeing Yi-Chu's appearance, Yamozi was also a little excited. Yes, Yamozi, you go down to prepare. I will prepare for some time, and then I will go over and tell the angel leader, and say that we are going to leave here and go to the Dragon Ball universe. When he heard Yi-Chu say this, he and Yamozi nodded, and then he went down. After seeing Yamozi go down, Yi-Chu also continued to sit there and think for a while. He remembered Wukong in the Dragon Ball universe, Bulma and Kiki and others. He also misses them very much now. He can't wait to return to the Dragon Ball universe now. If he thinks that he will return to the Dragon Ball universe in only half a month, he will need some time to prepare some things. When I see Kiki and Bulma, I must give them some gifts, and I don't know what to give them. Yi-Chu thought to himself, but I think if you want to send gifts, you should send some special products from the angel world, it will be more meaningful. So in the past half a month, Yi-Chu practiced the Tianyang divine art for a while, and his strength became even stronger. Yi-Chu also combined the Tianyang divine art with his previous moves, which greatly improved his own combat effectiveness. Now Yi-Chu now feels that if he fights against the angel leader and the angel leader again, he will not be in his heart. How afraid of the angel chief. Time passed very quickly. Half a month had passed in just a short period of time. After half a month, Yi-Chu had also made all preparations. Then Yi-Chu stood up and walked towards the angel chief's palace. Go! It didn't take long before Yi-Chu arrived around the chief's palace. When Yi-Chu arrived around the palace of the chief angel, the guardians on the left and right also saw Yi-Chu. When they saw Yi-Chu, they didn't dare to neglect, and they hurriedly walked towards Yi-Chu. Lord Yi-Chu, what are you doing here this time? Lord Angel Chief has already said that if you are here, you can go in and find him without any notification. The left and right guardians said, and the left guardian's expression was also a little flattering. The right guardian looked at Yi-Chu with some enthusiasm. After hearing the left guardian say this, Yi-Chu nodded. Okay, I really came to find the angel leader this time. If so, I'll go to the angel leader first, and I'll talk to you next time. Yi-Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing Yi-Chu say this, the Zuo Hufa also nodded, and then Yi-Chu walked into the room. After that, Yi-Chu had already found the chief angel, who was sitting in his palace at this time. There was a stove in front of the angel leader, and the fire was burning continuously by the stove, and he didn't know what was inside. Angel Chief, what are you doing? Yi Chu looked at the angel leader and asked, because he found that the angel leader seemed to be forging a weapon. After hearing Yi Chu's question, the angel leader also turned to look at Yi Chu. Yi Chu, I have seen your weapon before, so I also want to make a hammer for myself. For so many years, I can say that I have no rivals in the angel world, but I feel that it will not be long before we will go into a much bigger world inside 2.4. Quote. So I think when I go to the bigger world, I have to prepare a very strong weapon. If I go to that world again, I can increase some security. The angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing the angel leader say this, Yi Chu also nodded. He also agreed with the angel leader's words in his heart. After hearing Yi Chu nod, the angel leader also looked at Yi Chu. By the way, Yi Chu, you haven't been to my palace for a long time since you left me last time. You must not only come here to see me this time, but something must have happened. The angel leader asked Yi Chu. He wanted to ask Yi Chu why he came this time. After hearing the angel leader like this, Yi Chu also began to explain. 332. Yearning and missing. Angel Chief, this time I came here to say goodbye to you for some time. Yi Chu opened his mouth. After hearing what Yi Chu said, the angel leader also became a little curious. He didn't expect Yi Chu to come over to say goodbye to him, but the angel leader turned around and thought about something. Yi Chu, I remember that you were originally in the Dragon Ball universe. Could it be that you bid me farewell this time, which means you are going back to the Dragon Ball universe? The angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing the angel leader say this, Yi Chu also nodded fiercely. After seeing Yi Chu nod, the angel leader also fell silent. Yi Chu, I knew for a long time that you would return to the Dragon Ball universe. After all, the Dragon Ball universe also has your relatives, and you must be very kind to you in the Dragon Ball universe, but I didn't expect you to return so quickly. In the Dragon Ball universe, then let me ask you a question now. If you return to the Dragon Ball universe, will you come to the angel world after a while? And if you find a bigger world, will you tell me? The angel leader asked Yi Chu seriously. After hearing the angel leader 18 say this, Yi Chu fell silent. After thinking about it for a while, Yi Chu raised his head and said to the angel leader, Don't worry, the angel leader. Well, even if I return to the Dragon Ball universe, after a period of time, if I find information about the bigger world, I will definitely come over and tell you. Quote. And this time when I return to the Dragon Ball universe, I just wanted to bring my wife and friends into the angel world and let them wander around here, because the angel world cup is also extremely beautiful and wonderful. If they come in the angel world, they can also increase their vision and knowledge, so that they will benefit greatly in their future cultivation. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, the angel leader nodded. The angel leader also agreed with Yi Chu's thoughts in his heart. The angel leader felt a little relieved. Since Yi Chu said he would come back here, it was already fine, and Yi Chu's answer was much better than he expected. Yi Chu, I won't stop you. If you want to return to the Dragon Ball universe, then go as soon as possible, so that you can come back as soon as possible. The angel leader opened his mouth and said to Yi Chu enthusiastically. After hearing what the angel leader said, a smile appeared on Yi Chu's face, and Yi Chu nodded fiercely. By the way, Yi Chu, if you want to return to the Dragon Ball universe, do you need our help? The angel leader asked Yi Chu. After hearing the angel leader say this, Yi Chu shook his head. No, Angel Chief, when I left the Dragon Ball universe, I pierced the world membrane, and then came to the angel universe. Since I was able to open the world membrane that time, I will definitely be able to open the world membrane this time, and then return to Dragon Ball. In the universe. Yi Chu opened his mouth and said to the angel leader. After the angel leader heard Yi Chu say this, he was also a little surprised in his heart, and then he became a little bit clearer. Oh, is that so? No wonder I felt like the world film had changed a bit last time. The angel leader said to Yi Chu. Yi Chu nodded when he heard the angel leader say this, and then Yi Chu and the angel leader chatted here for a while before leaving the palace. When Yi Chu left the palace of the chief angel, the guardians on the left and right also ran over to see Yi Chu off. Yi Chu waved, and after chatting with them for a while, Yi Chu left. When Yi Chu left here, the angel leader was also standing in his palace, watching Yi Chu's back. Yi Chu's potential is really huge. I haven't seen him for a while, but his strength has been greatly improved. Although he has hidden his strength deeply, I can feel that there is something hidden in his body. The energy in his body, I feel as if the power in his body is a little stronger than my current power. The angel leader looked at Yi Chu's back from a distance, and said lightly, his heart was also very shocked. Fortunately, the left and right guardians did not hear the words of the angel leader. If the left and right guardians listened to the words of the angel leader, their hearts would be more shocked, right? After Yi Chu left the angel chief's palace, he found Yamozi and the demon lord again. Because before, Yamozi and the demon lord were actually waiting not far away, so Yi Chu quickly found them. Yi Chu, have you told the angel chief? The demon lord asked Yi Chu. Yi Chu also nodded after hearing Yi Chu's question. After seeing Yi Chu nod, demon lord and Yamozi became a little overjoyed. Let's go, first go back to the eastern sky territory. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, the demon lord also nodded, and then Yamozi and the demon lord were already standing beside Yi Chu, and then they walked towards the eastern sky territory. Go, not long after, they have returned to the eastern sky territory. Yi Chu, this time you are going to the Dragon Ball universe with us, so do you want to tell the people here about this? This is Yamozi who raised his head and asked Yi Chu. Yi Chu shook his head when he heard Yamozi asking. Don't worry, Lord of the Emoshamites, after we go this time, we should be here again soon, and we don't need to tell them to make it clear. Yi Chu opened his mouth, but he still felt the need to say something in his heart, but he didn't need to say it all, he just needed to make up some lies. Immediately afterward, Yi Chu arrived on the Mona Angel Star. After that, he also called over. There were many masters who he had subdued before, and masters who had surrendered to him. Many masters walked towards Yi Chu. They surrounded Yi Chu and looked at Yi Chu who was sitting on the platform. Lord Yi Chu, you called us over this time, I don't know what happened. Someone spoke, and after hearing their question, Yi Chu glanced at the faces of everyone present, and they became inexplicably nervous, wondering what Yi Chu was going to announce this time. You have helped me a lot during this period of time, and what you have done is very good, and today, I feel that my cultivation during this period has reached a bottleneck, so I plan to go out and hone myself. The Strength and Cultivation Base. 333. Leaving the Angel World. The time of departure is not fixed now, but I hope in my heart that you can still manage the Eastern Sky Territory for me when I am away. Yi Chu opened his mouth and said to the people below. After hearing what Yi Chu said, the people below also became silent. They were also a little surprised, but after a while, they all nodded fiercely. Don't worry, Lord Yi Chu, when you first brought us over, didn't you just want us to help you? Now you are only going to leave for a while, and maybe you will come back soon, so we will definitely help you. Take care of the Eastern Sky Territory, and the Angel Star of Mona, you can go with confidence. At this time, Angel Caesar stood up like this and said. After hearing Angel Caesar say this, Yi Chu also had a little smile on his face. After seeing Yi Chu's smile, other people also agreed in their hearts. Then a lot of people said the same thing. Don't worry, Lord Yi Chu, we will definitely manage this place very well during your absence. There may be some surprises when you come back. At this time, Amoshi and the Demon Lord looked at the people below, and there were some fluctuations in their hearts. Because they have been staying in this place for a long time, this place is also their hard work, and now they have to leave the angel world for a while, so Yamozi felt a little reluctant in his heart, and Yi Chu also saw their reluctance. Yamoshi, Lord of the Demons, don't be too sad in your hearts, there is nothing you can do about it, let's get out of here now and go back to our Dragon Ball universe. Yi Chu walked over and said softly to the Demon Lord and Yamozi. After the Demon Lord heard what Yi Chu said, his heart also fluctuated slightly, and then they started to organize their things, and then followed Yichu. Where are we leaving, Yichu this time diaresis? When a few people were walking on the road, Yamozi asked Yichu. After hearing the question of Yamozi, Yichu thought about it and said to Yamozi and the Demon Lord. Yamoshi, Lord of the Demons, remember how we came to the angel world. This time we also have to pass that place and return to the Dragon Ball universe. Yichu turned his head and said to the Demon Lord and Yamozi. After hearing what Yichu said, Yamozi moved slightly in his heart. Not long after that, a few of them have already reached the edge of the angel world. At the edge of the angel world, there is also a lot of spatial turbulence flowing in this place, and this is the last time they came to the angel world. Place. Demon Lord Yamozi, do you feel it? The last time we came to this place is this place. As long as we pass through this place, we can return to the Dragon Ball universe again. Yichu opened his mouth and said to the Demon Lord and Yamozi. After hearing what Yichu said, the Demon Lord and Yamozi also looked around. They seemed to see in their hearts that they were here for the first time. In the scene of the angel world, Yamozi's heart also fluctuated. Okay, then Yichu, what are we waiting for? Hurry back to the Dragon Ball universe. Yamozi said to Yichu. Yichu nodded after hearing what Yamozi said, then he turned his head and said to the Demon Lord and Yamozi, the two of you are now passing on your power. To me, according to the formation I passed on to you last time. After hearing what Yichu said, Yamoshi and the Demon Lord also started to act. The two of them stood on the spot and then gathered their energy. Yichu stood in front of them. Formed into a triangle, the power in the two people's bodies was also transmitted towards Yichu's body. Not long after that, Yichu's aura had reached a very huge level. Yichu slowly drew out his weapon. This time, his aura was even more powerful, because his strength had also been greatly improved during this period of time. When Yichu was holding the weapon, he quickly picked it up and slashed the weapon towards the space in front of him. Because Yichu had also increased a lot during this time, he didn't need any help this time. To achieve the breakdown of the Dragon Ball universe barrier. I saw Yichu with a weapon in his hand slashed the world film with a ruthless slash, and then made a loud ding sound, and immediately the world was pierced by touching it. Seeing that Yichu had punched a small hole in the world film of the angel world, the hearts of Yamozi and the Demon Lord were also slightly moved, and both of them were very excited now. What are you waiting for? I have now pierced through the world film, follow me back to Dragon Ball world. Yichu turned his head and said to Yamozi and the Demon Lord. Yamozi and the Demon Lord nodded after hearing Yichu say this, and they were a little surprised. Yichu, we are also in the Angel Dragon Ball universe, but after so much time has passed, our strength has risen a little, and your strength has almost doubled. The Demon Lord opened his mouth and Yichu nodded after hearing what the Demon Lord said, but Yichu didn't care much about what the Demon Lord said. What he cared about now was returning to the Dragon Ball universe. Immediately after, Yichu walked towards the opening of the world's diaphragm. After there was no time in the past, Yichu walked in first. Yichu's figure also slowly disappeared. When his figure disappeared, Qian's angels Caesar and Yamosi also followed Yichu's back and drilled into this small hole. After a period of darkness, the eyes of the three of them suddenly lit up. At this time, Yichu realized that he was lying on a sandy beach, and his clothes were wet and soft. What the hell is going on here? How could we faint on the beach, and we don't know if we are in the Dragon Ball universe? At this time, the man himself fainted on a very huge beach, and he was a little puzzled. Yichu, where did we come to? Is this place really in the Dragon Ball universe? Yamozi turned his head and asked Yichu. Yichu fell silent after hearing Yamozi asking, and then Yichu moved towards feeling for a while, and his expression changed. 334. Fall into the mysterious area. Yichu, did you find anything? Tell me quickly. Yamozi asked Yichu. Yichu also nodded. He looked at Yamozi with serious eyes. Yamoshi, Lord of the Demons, I sensed around for a while just now, and I found that we didn't go anywhere else, we were still in the Dragon Ball universe. After hearing Yi Chu say this, Yamozi became a little surprised. At this time, the Demon Lord also looked around and was a little surprised. Yi Chu, do you remember some of the words I told you before? The Demon Lord opened his mouth. He had checked some classics in the demon world before, and speculated that some information had been told to Yi Chu. Devil Lord, you said before that there are many secrets hidden in our Dragon Ball universe. It is speculated that our previous appearance in the Dragon Ball universe is not a complete appearance. It seems that what you said is correct. Now it seems that we are in a hidden place in the Dragon Ball universe. Presumably when we were traveling between the Dragon Ball universes, we also came here by mistake 190. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, Yamoshi became a little surprised in his heart. At this time, a few people looked around at them and found that they were standing on the beach next to the ocean at this time. There were no people here, but huge creatures continued to emerge in the ocean, and each of those creatures is very terrifying, and even some breaths make Yamozi and the Demon Lord have some fears in their hearts. Yamoshi, I didn't expect that there is such a place to hide in the Dragon Ball universe, but how should we return to the Dragon Ball universe after we come here this time? At this time, Yamozi asked Yi Chu. After hearing what Yamozi said, Yi Chu also became silent. Yi Chu fell silent and looked around, then Yi Chu raised his head. The Demon Lord, Yamozi, since we can come to this place, there is naturally a way to get out, so we don't need to be so nervous now. After hearing Yi Chu say this, the Demon Lord and Yamozi were inexplicably calm in their hearts and they looked at Yi Chu closely. Give me a moment and I'll definitely figure out a way out of this place. Yi Chu opened his mouth and said to Yamozi and the Demon Lord. After hearing what Yi Chu said, the Demon Lord and Yamozi also believed Yi Chu in their hearts, but they were still a little worried. Immediately afterwards, Yi Chu walked to the side. After seeing Yi Chu walking to the side, Yamozi and the Demon Lord did not disturb Yi Chu. Yi Chu stepped aside, then sat down with his body crossed, and began to close his eyes. After Yi Chu did this, the two of them became a little surprised, but they didn't ask any further questions. And the reason why Yi Chu said he could leave this place was because Yi Chu had a system. Open the system. The system, is there any way to get out of this place? Yi Chu sat cross-legged and asked the system, then the system gave Yi Chu a momentary response. Yi Chu, as long as you exchange a treasure, you can leave this place. The system responded. After hearing the system's response, Yi Chu's heart was filled with joy. As long as I exchange a treasure, I can leave this place. What exactly is that treasure? Yi Chu's heart moved, and then passed his thoughts to the system, and then the system began to fluctuate. Not long after, Yi Chu's mind showed an image of a treasure like a pendulum. Yi Chu, this baby's name is Suo Shengyi. As long as you use this Suo Shengyi, you can leave here according to this Suo Shengyi. And not only that, you can also use Suo Shengyi to leave a mark here, so that next time you can come to this place again, you may find other secrets when you come to this place again. At this time, the system's voice transmission, after hearing the system say this, Yi Chu was also moved. At this time, Yi Chu looked at the exchange points of Suo Shengyi. Exchanged. If that's the case, well, then the system will exchange the Suo Sheng instrument. Yi Chu opened his mouth slightly, and then some of the exchange points he originally had disappeared. The next moment, a treasure appeared in his hand, and this treasure was Suo Shengyi. Suo Shengyi looks like a pendulum, and there is also a pointer in it, and this pointer is constantly shaking at this time. Yi Chu had already exchanged the Suo Sheng instrument at this time, so he also knew how to use the Suo Sheng instrument in his heart. As long as he refines the Suo Shengyi now, then inputs energy into the Suo Shengyi, and after conveying his thoughts, he can leave this place according to the Suo Shengyi. At this time, Yamozi and the Demon Lord also discovered Suo Shengyi who suddenly appeared in Yi Chu's hand, and they became a little surprised, because they also didn't know why this Suo Shengyi suddenly appeared in Yi Chu's hand. Yi Chu, what is this thing in your hand? At this time, Yamozi also came over and asked Yi Chu, because Yamozi also knew that Yi Chu had a lot of treasures, so when he saw the pendulum that Yi Chu suddenly appeared, he felt in his heart. There is some anticipation on the face. Master of Demons, Yamozi, the name of this treasure is Suo Shengyi. With Suo Shengyi, we can leave this place. Yi Chu opened his mouth. After hearing what Yi Chu said, Yamozi and the Demon Lord were also slightly moved. They didn't expect that this little thing could help them get out of here. They were also looking forward to it. Don't know if this is really possible. Lord of the Demon Lord, Yamozi, look at you too, I'll take you out now. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and then he sat cross-legged and started refining Suo Shengyi. Not long after that, Yi Chu had already refined Suo Shengyi. When Yi Chu refined the Suo Sheng instrument, the Suo Sheng instrument also radiated light. Yi Chu continuously transmitted energy into Suo Shengyi, and also conveyed the message that he wanted to leave this place. After Suo Shengyi received Yi Chu's message, the pointer on it was shaking constantly, as if it was pointing to a place. After a while, the pointer finally pointed to a place clearly. 335. Monsters in the Northern Mountains. It's the north. At this time, Yamozi opened his mouth and said, Yi Chu also nodded. At this time, Yi Chu raised his head and looked towards the north. He saw an incomparably high mountain forest. Because this is the first time they have come to this place, the north of the beach is the mountain forest, and they don't know what is in the mountain forest. Yi Chu seems to have a very powerful monster in the forest, and there was a roar in the previous time. This roar made the Demon Lord and I feel very scared in our hearts, and even the two of us almost collapsed on the ground. Are we really going to enter this mountain tilde forest? At this time, Yamozi raised his head and asked Yi Chu. His eyes were very serious. After hearing what Yamozi said, Yi Chu nodded after being silent for a while. Yes, Yamozi, Lord of the Demons, we must enter here, because now Suo Shengyi also pointed out this place, indicating that this place does have an exit. If we don't go from this place, there may be no other choice. Quote. And you don't have to worry too much in your heart, because Suo Shengyi can help us avoid some dangers, and he will help us choose the best path. In this case, I presume that we will not encounter many dangers. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, Yamozi and the Demon Lord were also excited. Yi Chu, is Suo Shengyi really so magical? The Demon Lord raised his head and asked Yi Chu. After hearing what the Demon Lord said, Yi Chu also nodded, and the Demon Lord became extremely excited in his heart. Yi Chu walked towards the northern mountain forest with Suo Shengyi in his hand. Yamoshi and the Demon Lord followed closely behind Yi Chu. They had some expectations in their hearts, and their eyes were fixed on Yi Chu. I don't know if Yi Chu's holding that Suo Shengyi in his hand is really that magical. Walking towards the northern mountain forest, it didn't take long before Suo Shengyi led the three people to the northern mountain forest. After they arrived in the northern mountain forest, several people also looked a little wary. Because a few people heard a very terrifying roar in the forest before, they also felt that there were a lot of terrifying monsters in the forest. The pointer on the Suo Sheng instrument was also shaking constantly. After they walked for a while, the pointer on the Suo Sheng instrument began to shake again, indicating a constantly changing path for them. Yi Chu and the others were also a little surprised, because when they followed Suo Shengyi's intuitive path, they really didn't encounter much danger. Although they encountered some monsters were stronger than them. It's not particularly high, so it was easily solved by them. However, this is only not very high compared to them. If it is simply speaking, some of these monsters are even stronger than Quanwang. Yi Chu, you feel that this is indeed the Dragon Ball universe, but the monsters here are very powerful. It seems that it is indeed as you said before. This is a hidden place in the Dragon Ball universe. So many secrets. Yamozi spoke to Yi Chu softly. Hearing Yamozi say this, Yi Chu also nodded lightly. He also had some doubts in his heart. Suo Shengyi was shaking constantly, and Yi Chu was also looking forward to it, because they felt that as long as they followed Suo Shengyi's directions, they would be able to leave this place very quickly. As they continued to walk, their hearts became more and more excited. At this moment, Yi Chu's heart froze slightly, because he felt a very powerful aura in front of him, and this aura was even stronger than that of an angel. The leader's aura was much stronger, making Yi Chu vigilant in his heart, and the two of them, Yamozi and Demon Lord, even trembled. Roar! An extremely deafening roar came from the mountain, causing the surrounding mountains and forests to vibrate. Countless trees began to rattle, and strong winds blew around, and some trees were even swept upwards. Empty, flying up, flowers. What kind of monster is this? What kind of monster has such a powerful strength? Yamozi was incomparably panicked, he said in a low voice. His face was also incomparably panicked, and Yi Chu was also on Zhou Jin's own brow at this time, but glanced at Yamozi and the Demon Lord. Yamoshi, don't be nervous about the two of you. If the two of you are more nervous now, I'm afraid the danger you will encounter will be greater. Yi Chu opened his mouth. After hearing what Yi Chu said, Yamozi and the Demon Lord quickly closed their mouths. The two of them were as quiet as the trees next to them. This way, they could avoid a little danger. At this time, Yi Chu was also holding his breath tightly, and he was a little nervous in his heart, and Yi Chu was also frowning, because he felt that this fake voice was the same as the roaring voice they heard when they were outside the forest. Exactly the same. At this moment, Yi Chu's pupils began to shrink sharply, because Yi Chu discovered that in the large forest in front of him, an incomparably huge monster suddenly appeared. This monster is like a dinosaur, but its body is covered with hard scales, both eyes are blood red, its body is wrapped with huge evil energy, there is a pointed horn on its head, and two black wings beside its body. Is there still such a monster in the world? Demon Lord looked very shocked at this time, and said softly. Yi Chu also saw that this monster was extremely powerful, the monster that this monster roared wildly before. At this time, the few people also held their breaths tightly. The monster roared at the sky for a few times and then flew into the distance. They didn't know what he did, but they didn't seem to notice Yi Chu and the others. Maybe he noticed Yi Chu and the others, but he didn't pay much attention to them, because their strength was too weak for this monster. Because they were not too far away from this monster before, Yi Chu also sensed the strength of this monster. I am afraid that for this monster, their current strength is not worth mentioning. 336. Leave the mysterious area. The terrifying monster flew out of the forest, and it disappeared from the sight of several people after a while, and the place was extremely vast, so they didn't know where the monster flew to. Fortunately, this monster has already flown away. He has no interest in us, otherwise we may encounter a great crisis. Yamozi stood on the spot and breathed a sigh of relief, and said. Yi Chu also nodded when he heard Yamozi's words. This place is extremely mysterious, and there are such powerful monsters, and this place is also extremely vast. In such a vast world, I don't know how much danger exists. Yi Chu was very curious about this place at this time, but he knew at this moment that he could not stay in this place for a long time. At this time, the pointer on the suosheng instrument held in Yi Chu's hand was still shaking. 1, 2, 3, looking for a way out for them. The pointer on the suosheng instrument stopped again and pointed to the front of them, which also meant that they could escape if they walked forward. It's not too late, let's go quickly. If we don't go, maybe that monster will come back after a while. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, the Demon Lord and Yamozi also nodded. Immediately afterwards, several people walked towards the inside of the forest again, and Suo Shengyi was guiding them in the direction they left. After they walked for a while, Suo Shengyi led them to a rock, which seemed to be the end of the forest. This rock is so huge and towering that when you look up over the rock, it seems like you can't see the end. Yi Chu, how did Suo Shengyi lead us to the vicinity of this rock? Is it possible to leave near this rock? Yamozi looked up at Yi Chu and asked, and the Demon Lord was also very puzzled. Yi Chu became silent. He took Suo Shengyi in his hand and looked at it. The pointer on Suo Shengyi was still pointing straight in this direction. Suo Shengyi can't go wrong. That is to say, this rock does have a direction to leave. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and his eyes narrowed tightly. He stared at the rock with his own eyes. After a while, Yi Chu seemed to have made a little discovery. The way to go is here. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and his hands also plunged straight into the rock in front of him. Immediately afterwards, what surprised Yamozi and the Demon Lord happened. Yi Chu's palm was inserted straight into the rock in front of him. Yi Chu's palm was inserted into the rock in front of him, and waves of ripples emanated from the rock, rippling around, making the rock look like a lake. When they saw this scene, Yamozi and the Demon Lord were extremely surprised in their hearts, and then they were also a little happy. Yi Chu, is this rock in front of you an illusion? That is to say, we can just rush into this rock. Yamozi opened his mouth. After hearing what Yamozi said, Yi Chu shook his head. Yi Chu put his hand into this rock just now, so Yi Chu also knew the mystery inside. No, Lord of the Demons, Yamozi, the rock in front of us is not just an illusion, but because there is a space crack in this mountain rock and a connection to the outside world, so as long as I find this space crack, I can go outside, so you can see me sticking my hand into the rock. Yi Chu opened his mouth. After Yi Chu said this, Yamoshi and the Demon Lord nodded. They also understood in their hearts, and they were also a little happy, because just now, Yi Chu had clearly explained that this mountain rock is indeed in harmony with the outside world. Connected, that is to say, they can indeed leave to the outside world through this place. Very good, Yi Chu, since you have found that this place is connected to the outside world, can we leave from this place? Yamozi raised his head and asked Yi Chu. Their eyes were also staring at Yi Chu, and their eyes were full of deep anticipation. Yi Chu also nodded after hearing what Yamozi said, and after seeing Yi Chu nod, Yamozi and the Demon Lord were also delighted, and then they both stood beside Yi Chu. I want to leave this place with Yi Chu. Put your 2 hands on me. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing Yi Chu's words, Yamoshi and the Demon Lord nodded as well, and then the 2 of them stood behind Yi Chu, then raised their hands and put them on Yi Chu's body. When they put their hands on Yi Chu's body, they seemed to be connected with Yi Chu, and Yi Chu also had a mysterious energy surging. This energy seems to be very plain, but it is extremely profound, and this may be the energy that Yi Chu has obtained from cultivating the Tianyang divine art during this period of time. And when the 2 of them touched Yi Chu's body, as if they were connected to Yi Chu, and then the energy in Yi Chu's body flowed through them, it made them feel inexplicably quiet in their hearts. There was also a slight joy in their hearts. Before this time, Yi Chu quietly looked at the rock in front of him, and then his eyes kept flashing, quickly looking for a way to leave. Then Yi Chu raised his hands, and his hands danced constantly, depicting mysterious trajectories. Yi Chu drew a mysterious pattern in the air, and then his hands suddenly inserted into the rock in front of him. When Yi Chu's hands were inserted into the rock in front began to fluctuate continuously. Open to me. Yi Chu shouted dully in his mouth, and then his strength continued to surge on his body, and his hands 3.7 kept coming out to transmit energy, surging towards the rock in front of him. An unbelievable scene happened. I saw Yi Chu using his own strength to ruthlessly tear open a huge hole in the rock in front of him. The space energy in this hole was flowing. If you look inside this space crack, it seems that you can still see the outside world in the Dragon Ball universe. When they saw this place, Yamozi and the Demon Lord were also overjoyed. They didn't expect Yi Chu to open a passage to the outside world with one blow. What are you waiting for? Let's get inside now. Yi Chu opened his mouth. At this time, he had already opened a passage to the outside world of the Dragon Ball universe based on his own strength and skills. If they don't leave here, when will they wait? 337. Close Dragon Ball universe. As long as they go out, they can return to the outside world in the Dragon Ball universe. After hearing Yi Chu say this, Yamozi and the Demon Lord were also excited, and then Yi Chu stepped into the space passage ahead. Yamozi and the Demon Lord followed closely, and followed Yi Chu into the passage that Yi Chu opened in front, and then the three of them disappeared in this place. Just when the figures of several people disappeared in this place, I saw that above this mountain forest, the huge dinosaur-like monster appeared again. He waved his huge wings and kept soaring in the sky. There were bursts of roars in his mouth, and the whole mountain forest began to tremble. Stand up. After the gigantic monster roared a few times, he saw that his eyes were fixed on the space crack channel that Yi Chu had just torn open. Humanized colors flashed in the monster's eyes. Immediately after, he flew towards the passage that Yi Chu had torn open at a very fast speed, carrying an incomparably huge formidable power. Bang! Slammed into the passage that Yi Chu had opened in front of him, and he shrunk his body so that he could enter the passage, but when the monster hit it, it seemed to be subjected to infinite resistance. The monster also roared and used the strength of his entire body to stuff half of his body into it. There was a look of joy on the monster's face, and it seemed that he also wanted to leave this place very much. However, at this time, the entire mountain rock suddenly violently fluctuated, and a distinctive wave spread towards the monster, but when the wave spread to the monster immediately shrank from the crack channel. Came back. His expression looked very painful, and there was some blood on his claws. When he wanted to enter it just now, the fluctuation spread to him, which actually prevented him from entering it. Damn, when did this ghost place end? There was some blood dripping from the monster's claws, and then it lifted its head, and some mental fluctuations flashed in its mind, radiating toward the surrounding, and the meaning expressed in the mental fluctuations was this. Ellipsis 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 ellipsis. Yi Chu didn't know about this at this time. After they walked out of the space passage on the rock, their vision began to change, and then they discovered that they had entered the Dragon Ball universe. This is the Dragon Ball universe before them, and it is the Dragon Ball universe with Goku, Chi-Chi and theirs. Yi Chu stood in the Dragon Ball universe, looked around, felt a sense of closeness, and his heart was generally calmer. Yamozi and the Lord of Demons looked around, and felt a little joy in their hearts. They finally got rid of the very weird and wonderful place just now. That's great, Yi Chu, we finally came out, we can meet the people we want to meet. Yamozi opened his mouth, and Yi Chu nodded. His heart was full of anticipation, and his eyes seemed to have the appearance of Kiki and Bulma. Come on, hurry up and go to my own planet to meet the race of Saiyans, Goku, Yijian, Kiki and Bulma and others. I can't wait. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and just after his voice fell, his figure also began to explode, and he flew very fast towards the distance, and he also brought Yamozi and the Demon Lord with him. The Demon Lord looked at Yi Chu, and he could understand Yi Chu's feelings in his heart. Although the Demon Lord did not have his own relatives, he was also very eager to have a relative, so he had countless fantasies about such a situation in his heart. So it is understandable for Yi Chu. Yi Chu flew very fast, and not long after that, Yi Chu had already arrived around his planet. At this time, Yi Chu's planet has become more and more prosperous. The size of the planet has expanded 10 times compared to when he left, and there are countless masters flying on the planet. Most of these masters are Saiyan races. There are some Saiyans who have only emerged over the years, and some Saiyans Yi Chu also know. Yi Chu stood outside the planet and did not directly enter his own planet. At this time, there were several people in Yi Chu's planet, and his heart continued to fluctuate. Because they had stayed with Yi Chu for a long time, when Yi Chu came here, they also had a little feeling in their hearts. As the saying goes, there is a consonance in the heart, and there is a feeling in the heart. This is not just groundless, but actually has a little basis. Chi-Chi's heart was beating wildly, and she was inexplicably flustered. And Bulma was sitting not far away, stroking Yi Xiaoyu, who was lying beside his legs. This little girl was not very old yet, and she looked extremely cute, even a little like Yi Chu. This is Yi Chu and Bulma's daughter, whose name is Yi Xiaoyu. Bulma, I don't know why. My heart is very flustered. It seems that a very important person has come here. Kiki stood up and walked to Bulma's side, saying to Bulma. After Bulma heard Kiki say this, her heart also fluctuated. He raised his head, and there was some light shining in his eyes. Chi-Chi, I seem to feel the same way. Is it possible? Is it possible? Bulma opened her mouth. After hearing Bulma say this, Chi-Chi's heart beat even faster. Both of them thought of a possibility, that is, Yi Chu came here. Yi Chu has been out of the Dragon Ball universe for a few years, and during this time, you all miss Yi Chu very much. Although Yi Chu has left the Dragon Ball universe, Yi Chu also has an influence on the Dragon Ball universe all the time. And the part of the people that Yi Chu had helped and admired before had completely become the upper-level figures and leaders in the Dragon Ball universe. Mom, who are you talking about? At this time, Yi Xiaoyu next to Bulma asked Bulma. After hearing Yi Xiaoyu's question, Bulma's face also showed some loving smiles. Daughter, it's possible that your father is back. Bulma opened her mouth and said to Yi Xiaoyu. After Yi Xiaoyu heard Bulma say this, her heart began to fluctuate constantly. 338. Yi Xiaoyu's thoughts. Yi Chu had left this place since she was born, so she hadn't seen Yi Chu until she was so old, but she missed Yi Chu very much in her heart. The more she hadn't seen Yi Chu, therefore, I miss Yi Chu even more in my heart. Dad, did Daddy come back? What does Daddy look like? Yi Xiaoyu immediately stood up and murmured. She was looking forward to Yi Chu in her heart, and some crystal tears appeared in the corners of his eyes, because Yi Chu had never been with him, so she was very fond of Yi Chu. Expected. Come on, boy, let's go out and see. At this time, Chi-Chi also walked to Yi Xiaoyu's side, touched Yi Xiaoyu's head, and said to Yi Xiaoyu and Bulma. After hearing Chi-Chi say this, several people also walked outside, and at this time Yi Chu's planet also began to move continuously, because Yi Chu also appeared with Yamoshi and the Demon Lord. In the sky above his own planet. Master Yi Chu is back. Yi Chu's planet, this incomparably prosperous planet, began to vibrate violently after Yi Chu came back, as if there were storms, rushing towards the Dragon Ball universe at an extremely violent speed on Yi Chu's planet. Countless Saiyans, no matter how powerful or not, regardless of their status, are like children in front of Yi Chu. They stared at Yi Chu's heart above, and the heat inside seemed to be surging. Master Yi Chu is back. Some of the stronger or older Saiyans looked at Yi Chu. Their bodies kept shaking, because many of them had had some contact with Yi Chu. Yi Chu seemed to be the same as their beliefs, and this time when Yi Chu came back, their lives seemed to have undergone a baptism. Master Yi Chu, is that you? At this time, an old Saiyan walked towards Yi Chu and muttered. After hearing what the old Saiyan said, Yi Chu nodded. Yi Chu didn't speak, but Yi Chu nodded lightly to confirm that there were tears in the eyes of many Saiyans ahead, and the old Saiyan began to tremble. Lord Yi Chu, it is Lord Yi Chu who is back, let me quickly greet Lord Yi Chu tilde. The old Saiyan opened his mouth. After hearing the old man's words, all the Saiyans began to waver in their hearts. At this time, they were also sure that Yi Chu had indeed returned here. No matter when Yi Chu returns to his own planet, when Yi Chu returns to this Dragon Ball universe, he is the king of all Saiyans, and he is the king of this Dragon Ball universe. Congratulations to the return of Lord Yi Chu. And at this time, everyone who can see Yi Chu kneels down to Yi Chu, and Yi Chu's planet is even more kneeled and worshipped. Not only the Saiyan race, but even some masters of other races he also bowed down to Yi Chu, because Yi Chu was exactly the king of this Dragon Ball universe. He is the strongest in this Dragon Ball universe, he is a legend in this Dragon Ball universe, he has made great contributions to this Dragon Ball universe, he has calmed down waves of darkness, so even other races bow down to Yi Chu when they came down, they also took it for granted in their hearts. When Yi Chu saw this scene, he was beginning to fluctuate constantly, feeling extremely relieved. Get up, where are Kiki and Bulma now? Yi Chu raised his hand, and a gentle energy emanated from his hand as it rolled forward like a vast ocean, reaching all the people on Yi Chu's planet, causing their waists to straighten involuntarily. When they got up, they looked at Yi Chu in the sky and felt a little shocked. It seems that after Lord Yi Chu's return this time, his strength has become much stronger than the last time. Someone said softly, feeling very shocked in their hearts. At this time, Yu and Bulma are also carrying Yi Xiaoyu and walked towards Yi Chu in the distance. Yi Chu. Kiki Bulma. A few people spoke softly, and then Chi-Chi and Bulma dashed towards Yi Chu, and Yi Chu couldn't wait to reach them. Yi Chu suddenly hugged Chi-Chi and Bulma in his arms, while Yi Xiaoyu next to him also looked at Yi Chu quietly. She didn't speak, but her heart was constantly surging. Dad. At this time, Yi Xiaoyu next to Yi Xiaoyu also spoke softly to Yi Chu. After hearing Yi Xiaoyu's words, Yi Chu's body also began to tremble. Before, Yi Chu had watched Chi-Chi and Bulma hold Yi Xiaoyu's hand, so he had some doubts about Yi Xiaoyu's identity. At this time, when he heard Yi Xiaoyu shouting like this, Yi Chu felt in his heart. It is also a little bit unbelievable and joyful. Yi Chu slowly turned around and looked at Yi Xiaoyu. Kiki, Bulma, who is she? Yi Chu spoke softly, with anticipation and inexplicable emotions flowing in his heart. She is your daughter, her name is Yi Xiaoyu. When you left before, you spent a whole night with me, and at that time I was pregnant with your flesh and blood, and not long after you left, I gave birth to Yi Xiaoyu. At this time, Bulma looked at Yi Chu and opened his mouth. Hearing Bulma's words, Yi Chu's body began to tremble constantly, but a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, and he felt a huge joy in his heart. It turned out to be like this. I didn't expect that I would have a daughter. Smile appeared on Yi Chu's face. He looked at Yi Xiao Li Deshao Yu, and an incomparable tenderness appeared in his eyes involuntarily. Yi Chu always wanted a daughter the most, but because he was very busy, Yi Chu didn't worry much about this. He didn't expect Bulma to give him such a huge surprise. Daughter, my daughter, come and give daddy a hug. Yi Chu walked towards Yi Xiaoyu slowly, and said lightly that his eyes were full of anticipation, with a loving smile on the corner of his mouth. After hearing Yi Chu say this, Yi Xiaoyu looked a little hesitant. Maybe it was because he hadn't seen Yi Chu for a long time, so he seemed a little afraid of life. However, Yi Xiaoyu finally opened her arms and hugged Yi Chu, and the two of them hugged tightly. Yi Chu held Yi Xiaoyu in her arms, and slowly Yi Xiaoyu hugged Yi Chu very tightly. Xiaoyu hugged. 339. Re-enter the Angel Universe. At this time, everyone had followed Yi Chu here. They stood behind Yi Chu and silently looked at Yi Chu in front of them. They didn't know what Yi Chu would do when he brought them here. Yi Chu, is this place any different? Isn't it just an ordinary-looking edge of the Dragon Ball universe? At this time, someone said, and after hearing this person say this, Yamozi said to him, do you think this place is really that simple? You are wrong. This place is formed by the intersection of the Dragon Ball universe and the Angel universe. The space vortex, and Yi Chu can also create a channel to connect to the Angel universe through this, so that we can enter the Angel universe through this channel. After hearing Yamozi say this, everyone was shocked, and at the same time, they felt a little unbelievable in their hearts. Although they could understand what Yamozi said, they felt that it would be very difficult to accomplish this. Everyone looked at Yi Chu quietly. Yi Chu also walked towards the front. Not long after Yi Chu walked to a very remote part of this space, and this place also had a small space whirlpool. There is a junction between the Angel universe and the Dragon Ball universe in this space vortex. All stand beside me at 480. Yi Chu spoke, and then everyone stood beside Yi Chu, and they also saw the scene of the space whirlpool. Inside the constantly rotating vortex of space, you can actually see a little bit of the Angel universe, and there is a very mysterious aura circulating around. When they see this, everyone becomes very surprised in their hearts. Although it seems that they can enter the Angel universe in the next moment, everyone knows in their hearts that if they want to enter the Angel universe, it is still very difficult. Yi Chu, are we going to pass here and enter the Angel universe? At this time, King Quan asked. Yi Chu also nodded after hearing King Quan's words. After seeing Yi Chu's nodding, everyone became somewhat expectant and surprised. In fact, they saw that there is a very transparent film where the Angel Universe and Dragon Ball Universe meet. This film looks very solid, and it must be the cosmic barrier. You are optimistic, now I will break this cosmic membrane. Yi Chu opened his mouth. After hearing what Yi Chu said, everyone became surprised. They looked at Yi Chu and didn't know what Yi Chu was going to do. Originally thought that Yi Chu needed some help, but he didn't expect Yi Chu to stand here quietly. His body began to dance without the wind, and his whole body exuded a very elegant and agile aura. Immediately afterwards, Yi Chu saw the divine sword in his hand. Yi Chu was holding the divine sword in his hand, and his entire figure seemed to be even taller. After Yi Chu picked up the divine sword, he immediately picked up the divine sword and attacked the cosmic film ahead ruthlessly. The divine sword was shining brightly, and huge energy was flowing on it. Yi Chu and Yi Jian had already attacked the membrane of the universe. Then there was a deafening sound, and the entire space began to vibrate. Then everyone was shocked to discover that Yi Chu had pierced a hole in the cosmic membrane. When the cosmic film and Yi Chu's divine sword came into contact before, there was an incomparably powerful storm sweeping towards them, and the Demon Lord also used his full strength to block this storm, otherwise he would say maybe they will also have a casualty. The air wave collided with Yi Chu's divine sword and the cosmic membrane didn't sweep over them, but everyone felt the incomparably majestic power, and their hearts became a little surprised. Because just the collision between the divine sword in Yi Chu's hand and the cosmic membrane had already produced such a powerful force, what would happen if Yi Chu's divine sword attacked them? I'm afraid Yi Chu can kill us all with one blow. The angel leader thought in his heart, and he was also very jealous of Yi Chu. At this time, when Yi Chu attacked with a sword, the cosmic membrane was completely opened by Yi Chu, and at this time, a short passage was revealed. What are you waiting for? Let's go inside quickly, and open this cosmic membrane a little now, but it will gradually recover after a period of time, and if you want to come back after entering the angel universe, you must find me again. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing Yi Chu say this, everyone stood beside Yi Chu, and they followed Yi Chu to hear the inside of the angel universe. Not much time has passed, and everyone has come to the angel universe. They are standing in the starry sky in the universe, and behind them is the slowly healing cosmic membrane. Yi Chu looked at the angel universe. It was actually not much time since he left his universe last time, and the others were also coming to the angel universe for the first time. They looked at the angel universe and the starry sky of the angel universe. Those countless feather planets felt extremely shocked in their hearts. There are planets in this universe that are feather-shaped, and I don't know how they formed, but they look lifelike. Standing beside Yi Chu, King Quan said, and after hearing King Quan say this, a little smile appeared on Yi Chu's face. Yes, King Quan, you were right. There is no such natural feather planet in this universe, and this feather planet is actually formed by the falling of a feather from a very powerful person. Yi Chu opened his mouth and revealed such a news. After hearing Yi Chu say this, King Quan was also extremely surprised, but King Quan continued to ask, but Yi Chu didn't say much. At this moment, Chi-Chi and Bulma were standing next to each other, and it seemed that their hearts were constantly fluctuating, while Yi Xiaoshan and Yi Xiaoyu seemed very excited. They looked at the vast universe of angels, and their hearts were full of expectations. The angel universe is unknown to them. Although the Dragon Ball universe is very huge, they have been in the Dragon Ball universe for a long time, so they feel a little tired. This time, when I came to the angel universe, Yi Xiaoshan and Yi Xiaoyu were probably the happiest in my heart. Dad, I didn't know there were so many universes out there and such wonderful sights here. I can't wait to go inside and play. Yi Xiaoyu ran to Yi Chu and said, after hearing Yi Xiaoyu say this, Yi Chu's face also showed a little smile. Yi Chu took Yi Xiaoyu's hand, and also wanted to take Yi Xiaoyu to play more in the angel universe for a while. 340. The Welcome of the Angel Chief. Don't worry, Yi Xiaoyu, as Dad's status, Dad will definitely take you to play in the angel universe and show you all the beauty in the universe. Yi Chu opened his mouth. After hearing what Yi Chu said, Yi Xiaoyu became extremely excited. A sweet smile appeared on his face, and the smile looked very sweet. And when Yi Chu brought these 100 people to the angel universe, the angel leader also felt a little bit of cosmic fluctuations. After feeling this cosmic fluctuation, the angel leader was not so panicked, because he was Yi Chu who left here before, and if Yi Chu were to come, he must have pierced through the cosmic membrane, so the angel leader felt that the cosmic membrane was broken. After being opened up a little, I also felt that Yi Chu was here tilde. The angel leader stood up quickly from his palace. Seeing the angel leader standing up, the left and right guardians next to him were extremely surprised. They didn't see the angel leader so excited. Master Chief, what happened? Why do you look so excited? The left and right guardians asked and heard the angel leader, and the angel leader also began to explain. Left and right guardians, a very important person has come to the angel universe once again. Go, you follow me to meet him. The angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing the angel leader's words, the left and right guardians were also extremely surprised. I don't know what important person came to the angel universe. After hearing the words of the angel leader, they also suspected that the person who came might be someone from another universe, but they didn't know who it was. Immediately afterward, the two of them also followed the angel leader closely, and then flew towards the angel universe. The angel leader also flew with the two of them constantly. Their speed was very fast. It didn't take long before they were already to a very remote place in the angel universe. At this time, Yi Chu was also walking around in the starry sky in the angel universe with this 100 people. At this time, Yi Chu's heart moved slightly because he felt that the angel leader was coming from a distance at this time. Yi Chu's current perception is stronger than that of the angel leader, so he was also the first to feel the arrival of the angel leader. Yi Chu looked into the distance, and he also saw the figure of the angel leader, and there were left and right guardians next to the angel leader. At this time, the 100 people around Yi Chu also looked a little frightened, because they felt that a very powerful person had come here, and they didn't know who it was. At this time, the angel leader also came with the left and right guardians, and the left and right guardians were the first to see Yi Chu's face, and they felt extremely surprised in their hearts, but because Yi Chu did not use him in the angel universe this time. So the guardian Zuo didn't recognize Yi Chu either. Yi Chu, you are here again, you are really welcome. Those around you are your friends, welcome them here. After seeing Yi Chu and the friends around Yi Chu, the angel leader said, and after hearing the angel leader say this, Yi Chu also smiled slightly. At this time, the left and right guardians also felt unbelievable in their hearts, because the left guardian heard the angel leader calling Yi Chu's name just now. The guardian Zuo looked at Yi Chu blankly, and they felt unbelievable in their hearts. The person in front of them looked very different from Yi Chu in appearance and soul, but the angel leader just called Yi Chu. The name of the angel, and of course the leader of the angels can't go wrong, which means that the person in front of him is probably Yi Chu. Are you Lord Yi Chu? At this time, Protector Right looked at Yi Chu and said incredulously. Protector Zuo, who was beside him, also widened his eyes and opened his mouth. He was also in disbelief. Yi Chu also saw the appearance of the left guardian at this time, with a smile on his face, and then Yi Chu turned his head to look at the left and right guardians. Left and right guardians, long time no see, I am indeed Yi Chu, I just hid my appearance before. Yi Chu opened his mouth, and after hearing what Yi Chu said, the left and right guardians also felt unbelievable in their hearts. They didn't think that the current appearance was Yi Chu's real appearance. Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. Lord Yi Chu, it turns out that you have never been from our angel universe. This is my left and right protector, and they felt a little clear in their hearts. They asked Yi Chu, and Yi Chu nodded after hearing them ask. After seeing Yi Chu nod, they felt a little relieved. Why should you be surprised? Before, Did you wonder why I respected Yi Chu so much? Because Yi Chu's strength is much stronger than he appears on the surface, and he is also the master of the universe in his universe. The angel leader opened his mouth. After hearing what the angel leader said, the left and right guardians were also extremely shocked, especially the left guardian. He was also a little regretful in his heart. He had some malice towards Yi Chujian before, and I remembered that time. When he was doing his own way, Protector Zuo felt that he was really ridiculous at the time. Fortunately, Yi Chu didn't bother with him at the time. Maybe he would have died at that time, but how could the guardian Zuo know that Yi Chu's strength improved very quickly? It was the first time he met with Yi Chu. At that time, Yi Chu's strength was not as strong as he imagined. The guardian Zuo looked at Yi Chu very respectfully. At this time, Yi Chu also led the 100 people to the leader of the angels. The hearts of the 100 people were also very shocking. So noble. Angel Chief, these 100 people are all my friends. After they came to the angel universe this time, they mainly wanted to visit the angel universe. I hope you can arrange their arrangement. Yi Chu opened his mouth. Hearing Yi Chu say this, the angel leader also nodded quickly, and then the angel leader looked to the left and right guardians. Left and right guardians, did you hear? The matter of receiving these 100 people will be handed over to you. You must do it very beautifully and dare not neglect anyone. The angel leader opened his mouth, and after seeing the angel leader say this, the left and right guardians also nodded hurriedly. Spoon.